Alright, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and tonight I am going to be continuing my playthrough of Angels with Scaly Wings. Potentially finishing the game up tonight, actually. We only have one more character to get through the good ending for, and then we can finally see the true ending of the game. At long last. Last time I streamed this, I had a throat infection. I was not doing too good. Thankfully, that's cleared up now. I was a bit kind of loosey-goosey last time. I was on a pretty high dosage of painkillers and antibiotics and all that stuff. So I was kind of out of it last time. But thankfully, it's all cleared up now, and we can finally get back to this game. Because after that it all wore off, like the very next day after I last streamed this, I felt like crap. I could not do hardly anything, so, yeah. Definitely wanted to wait until my throat was cleared up before I continued with the narration of these characters and whatnot. So I'm definitely happy that I'm finally feeling better now. Anyway, let's go ahead and load up our save here. Yeah, May 5th. So it was a little while ago now, but... So, here we are once again. So, the only other character we need to go through would be Bryce. We need to... Now, I read up on Bryce, on basically what I'm supposed to do for him. And it just says, in general, Bryce appreciates a joking and confident attitude. So, and it looks like there's only 2, like, meetups with him, instead of 3. Usually with most characters it's 3. So this should be a pretty easy run-through. The only other thing it says about him is it says we need to give Anna the blood and see the results of the test. It says, then ask Maverick to wait. It says you'll get the option in the beginning of Chapter 4. If you've seen at least one ending already, and you've been on at least 2 meetups with Bryce. So, we will just go ahead and get right to this. Let's make sure we give Anna the blood. Even though I think it does that by default. I don't think this... Yeah, none of this matters. You know what? I should have probably skipped past this part. Or wait a minute. No, this is... No, this is right. Yeah, because it's right here. Okay. I want to make sure that I give her the blood. Okay. So we can just skip all this other crap. Alright, we got the murder investigation once again. Don't remember what exactly I'm supposed to say here. I'm not really paying too much attention. I'm trying to read up on the guide here. It's funny how they don't even know what a gun is. Like, they don't have any idea what that is at all. but they have everything else. Like, they have everything else humans have, but they've never heard of a gun. I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Like, they even have knives, but they've never heard of a gun. They're like, what is that thing? Oh, it's a gun, that's right. That's what you call it. And some of these choices, man, this is ridiculous. Oh, oops. Meant to put this one in. Yeah, we've already gone through this, though. It's unfortunate that it couldn't skip past this part. I'm not sure if I could have safely skipped past it and still have given Anna the blood, because it makes sure to tell you, give Anna your blood and see the results of the test. Probably skip past most of this because none of this matters. If anything, though, it probably did help a relationship with Bryce a little bit. He definitely looked happy that we were not a fucking retard when it comes to the first investigation. Yeah, it doesn't matter what I say here. Okay, so now let's meet up with Bryce for the first time. So I already met up with him one time. All the way back probably in part 1. If not part 1, part 2. But let's see here. So, we gotta say, for the first thing here, I'll take 3. No, we don't want to skip. Alright. Skip past all this stuff. Talking about Raza. This first meetup is going to be a little boring because I'm not narrating it. I've already done so, you know. But the second one's going to be the one we have not seen yet. And then obviously the ending. Curious to see how that's going to turn out as well. And then the important part, the true ending. Because at that point it should be unlocked. So apparently this should be a very simple ending to get. And honestly, I think all of the endings have been pretty simple. I think the only one that was difficult to get was Remy's. That's the only one I had a little bit of difficulty actually getting, and it's only because I had to go through some very, very specific things that I had to do. Yeah, I don't think it really matters too much there. Let's burn some brain cells. This was a pretty funny scene, though, to be fair. This part doesn't matter, so I'll just say heck no. I don't think this part matters either. We'll just say it's a buzz. Drinking contest with a dragon. How do you even pronounce his name? X-I-T-H. Is that even a name? The green and black, though, does look pretty badass. That's something to kind of think about, too, isn't it? The fact that it's like... Other animals have such a unique color pattern to them. Humans are the only ones that look pretty much all the same. Like, look at a cat, for example. So many different patterns of fur and the eye color changes that the cats can have. The differences that they can have. The only thing different about human would be just skin color and, you know, being white or black. And, I mean, the eye color can be a bit different, but not as drastic as a cat's eye color, I think. I've seen some really, like, crazy patterns for a cat's eyes. But anyway. So we're supposed to say that's my tactic. We're definitely making them laugh quite a bit. Having a little fun doesn't hurt. Hey, what's up, Dark? How's it going, man? I'm hoping to finish this game up tonight, man. I'm gonna see if I can make that happen. This is the last character that I need to get his good ending for. And then I can unlock the true ending of this game. So I'm definitely curious. Like, I'm like determined, you know? I'm determined to complete this game. I can't believe this is the 7th stream of this. Well, actually, no, that... Yeah, 7th. Part 7. So, yeah. Damn, that's crazy. Longest playthrough for this channel so far. But trust me, there will definitely be longer playthroughs, especially next year. Anyway, I don't think this part matters. Yeah, this part doesn't matter. Oh, hey, I didn't even notice Gaming Geek was in the stream. Hey, what's going on, man? If he's still here. Yeah, he must have jumped on right away, damn. I didn't even start recording yet when I saw that when that message popped up. We're supposed to tell him, why are you so damn attractive? You could tell we're getting pretty drunk. I like how the vision starts getting blurred here. It's a nice effect. It's mine. Oh man. This was a very fun scene to do narration for, though, too. This isn't over. So you can say anything here. I'm gonna call him a scaly bastard while we stutter doing it. So how's it been going, Dark? How are things been, man? Not gonna be doing any narration for this part since I've already done so. So just kind of chat for a bit. Where is it? Here it is. This isn't over. Yeah, he definitely does like that confidence. I know when I've had enough. We need to game again sometime? Yeah, for sure. For sure. Good, man, you. I'm doing better now that this damn throat infection's gone. It's killer, man. It's really... Ugh. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It's horrible. I was out of it the first day I was on all those medications and painkillers and all that crap, but the very next day I was just... Oh, man, I was out of it. What am I going to play after this? I want to finish up Call of Duty 3 on Veteran. I need to get back into playing that one. I thought about playing that. But I really just have this itch to beat this game because I'm so close to the end. And at this point, I just want to finish it up. So, for sure, this is going to get finished this weekend. And then I'm going to jump back into Call of Duty 3 and die 1,000 more times on that. Let's do another multiplayer stream again. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, you just jump on at some point. I mean, we might be able to do that tomorrow if you really want to do that again. I mean, I'm down for that. If not, I'll just play Call of Duty 3. But if you're on tomorrow, we can definitely play something tomorrow. Alright, we gotta tell him fine. So that we please the waiter. Get his drunk ass home. Some pepper on his nose. That is pretty funny, though. I removed all my personal information from Xbox as best as I can. So yeah, what time you want to stream tomorrow? I don't know yet, man. I mean, just hit me up when you're on, and if I'm on, I'll jump on here and we can figure something out. Just message me on Discord or something. Alright, so here we are. We're back at his place, so we passed out. Yeah, we passed out at Bryce's place. Okay. So we got to tell him good morning, and that's the last thing that we need to do here. So, I don't remember being invited the first time around, being re-invited. It says, maybe I'll invite you over some other time and show you that there's more to the chief of police thing than getting drunk and passing out. So, I don't remember him saying that the first time around. How are we going to find out who won if we aren't going to have a rematch? Huh, I'm sure we'll think of something else that could measure our endurance. Alright. So, I guess we can just get some well-deserved rest now. Have you played Lego 2K Drive? What the hell is that? That would be a no, by the way. I don't even know what that is. Lego 2K Drive. No idea what that is. Yeah, we can just skip to the scene selection here. And we should be able to get another invite from Bryce. We have to do this again, huh? Apparently it's a Lego car racing game. It's brand new, apparently. No, I've never even heard of it. I'll look into it, though. Alright, so... I guess we'll just go to the grocery store. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely look into it. Comes out next week. Wow, that blank stare she gives him, too. Huh. Well, okay, that scenario played out a little bit differently. Yeah, Jet wants me to join a party. So that's the problem, though, with these Real Gamer podcast episodes, is that, like, because they're never planned, usually they invite me, because they see that I'm on, they're like, oh, he's online, so they invite me, but they don't know that I'm streaming something, you know? So, it'd be better if we had, like, a schedule to do it, you know? But they just kind of randomly happen instead, so sometimes I jump on and sometimes I don't. If I'm streaming, then I'm probably not going to jump on because I'm doing my own thing, and that's usually what I'm doing anymore. I'm just doing my own kind of content. Alright, so we can do one other thing. Yeah, so... yeah, I don't think any of this matters, really. I don't think it matters what exactly we do. I guess I'll just visit the production facility. There's her, Anna's assistant. Spartan Warrior 26. Welcome to the stream. I take it you're from Stax's server? Because I don't really recognize you. Dark apparently recognizes you though, so I'm assuming that you're one of NBA's guys. So he never Stax never came back to kick, did he? He's just doing his own thing on Rumble now, isn't he? Haven't been on Kick in a minute. Yeah, man. It's hard to say what's gonna happen with Kick, isn't it? can't skip any of this, unfortunately. Pick is gonna end up like Mixer. They're definitely doing the exact same things that ended up causing Mixer to shut down. Buying all these big names and then, like, not focusing on anything that actually makes the site, like, unique. I mean, they are definitely doing the exact same thing. Fun times. Yeah, Damien's such a great guy, you can tell. Seems like all the researchers in this game are just miserable assholes. Yes, I want to skip. Please, God. Let's get back to the selection. We got our South Park character again here. Alright, some messages on the answering machine, let's see. Hey, I was just thinking about last time. I know we got a little blackout drunk, but I still thought that was kind of fun. I think you had some fun too, but I also wanted to show you there's more to me than that. So I was just wondering, if you wanted to come over just to hang out and relax, you know. We only get to see each other when things are all serious, and I bet it's rough for you with everything that's going on. I figured you might want to get away from that a little. Anyway, if you want to drop by at any time, my door's open, buddy. Considering what happened last time, entering the literal dragon's den could either turn out really well or not so much. Well, I guess we'll find out. Let's meet up with them. Hey, Prince. Good to see you. Okay, so let's see. Thanks for the invitation. No need to be so formal. Sure, I'm the chief, but here, I'm just Bryce. Wait a minute, something seems different here. What do you mean? Oh, that's it. We're both sober. I thought we weren't going to mention that. Right. Don't mind the chaos. This is just a temporary arrangement. He led me inside and motioned to the couch. When I took a seat and looked around, I realized that his apartment was obviously designed with only a single person in mind. Ah, some days all you can do is be glad they're over. Long day at work? You know how it is at the police department, especially with everything's going on. Is this a bad time? Heck no, I could use some good company right now. So, what do you usually do for fun in your world? Meet with friends. Or you can say work out. Meet with friends. Right with you on that one. How about you? Different things. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know how it is. That's not very specific. Alright, I'll show you something. But promise me you won't laugh, okay? Sure. Good. He went to a shelf on the far side of the room and picked up a long object, carrying it in his maw as he returned to the table before me and gently set it down. It was a wooden model ship. From first appearances, I guessed it was a child's first attempt at assembling a model. While the shape was recognizable, there were odd pieces jutting out or not fitting together properly. In some places, globs of dried glue remained from excessive use. So, we can actually... we can say whatever here. He said, I promise you won't laugh, but I'm just picturing it in my head and I'm already laughing. Who's the Parkinson's affected Oh god. He says, I did this. What is Parkinson's? It's a degenerative disorder that causes a range of symptoms, among them uncontrollable shaking. Oh, I get it. No, I don't have a degenerative disorder. At least, not that I know of. and I know fully well what it looks like, but that's not my point. Even though I try, I don't always make the best decisions. I know I'm not the most patient person. But in my line of work, you never know what they're going to throw at you next, so you always have to be prepared. You can't have any exploitable weaknesses. And of course, I want to be fit for duty. As the chief, people look up to me, so I have to be at my best at all times. We can both tell the model's not very good. I don't really have the patience or the dexterity for it. But I tried my hand at this to get better. Sure, it took me way longer than it should have, and my claws were covered in glue for a week afterwards. But, you know, these models aren't even intended for us. They're made for runners like Sebastian, who have the proper hands to do that stuff. I know this ship isn't much, but it's something. And maybe, if I keep trying, I'll get better. Wait a minute, you have ships? Not in this town, but yeah, we have ships alright. Why does that surprise you? I just find it interesting, because where I came from, we also have vehicles for land and air travel. Well, some of us can fly, but some of us can run well, but none of us can swim beyond the seas. Do you even have different continents? Not that I know of. You'd probably have to ask someone who knows more about our world than I do. How can you not know about something like that? Well, we do get the occasional explorer who ventures out into uncharted seas, but I don't really keep track of that kind of thing. Would you want to visit if they ever found one? I can't say that I don't find the thought exciting, but in the end, I've got my people here, and they need their chief. Maybe you could take a vacation and see what's out there. Ha! If I ever have time for that, maybe. Can you swim? Not particularly well. You may have noticed that I'm not exactly streamlined. You're the pinnacle of masculinity. Glad you think so. These muscles are results of years of hard work. Alright, put your hand on my forearm. Don't you technically have 4 legs? I guess, but it's easier to say forearm than specifying the upper part of my foreleg. Besides, using the word leg might get misinterpreted. That might make you think of my thigh, and that would be something else entirely. Okay, so... Not that I'd mind, is what he wants to say here. Not that I'd mind grabbing your thigh, Jesus. Is that so? Well, let's just keep it on the arm for now. I placed my hand on the upper part of his foreleg, somewhat surprised at the warmth radiating from his scales. I hope you're ready, because here I go. His forearm shifted, the shape of his muscles changing as they became more defined. In a moment they were firm and bulging, his scales flaring under the stress and looking as though they might pop off at any moment. It reminded me of a flexing bodybuilder in a skin-tight, luxurious suit. After a few seconds, his muscles relaxed and regained their former shape. See, that's what I'm talking about. Flex your own puny muscles. You think you're the only one who can do that? Just take a look at this. I rolled up my sleeves and flexed my arms, showing them off from the best angle as I struck a pose. Nice try, buddy, but I still don't think you want to arm wrestle with me. It's too bad that all those muscles couldn't help you when Raza got away and you got stuck on those stairs. Hey, that wasn't my fault. It was the damn stairs. Speaking of which, this whole case has been completely insane. Us always a step behind Raza, and Maverick running around trying to catch him himself. I wonder what he's been up to. Maverick? Yeah. He had an interesting conversation not too long ago. What? When exactly was that? When I went into town to check your list of places Raza's been up to. How come you didn't say anything about that before? I didn't think it was anything worth mentioning. It was a pretty one-sided conversation anyway. Alright, maybe you should start from the beginning. I don't want to say he's crazy, but I had no idea what he's talking about. Me neither. You know, next time you should let the police decide whether something like that is worth mentioning or not. Why did you not tell us about this again? I thought it was just Maverick being Maverick. He's not normally like that. I don't get it. Why has he been acting like that? Do you think he's onto something? I don't know, but there must be a reason behind his behavior. Maybe he's right about Raza. You think so? Considering everything that's happened here so far, it's possible. That would put you in a very bad position. I know, but if it was him, I can't change what he's done. I can only try to help you as much as possible. I'm just thinking out loud, but Raza was the first of your kind to come here. He arranged the generator and PDA trade, and then you came through the portal to deliver your part of the deal. Did your people have any goals or long-term plans for us? Or was this exchange going to be a one-off thing? It was supposed to be a scouting mission more than anything, a test to see if this kind of business relationship could work out, and if it did, it would make humanity very happy. Things aren't looking good on that front right now, though. But yeah, that's another reason why I'm helping you. However this whole thing turns out, no matter what happens, I've got your back, okay? Likewise. Now that's the spirit. Hey, I'm gonna grab myself a beer. You want one? Sure. Alright. And he sure likes to drink, doesn't he? Bryce got up and left through one of the doors to fetch his beer, leaving me alone in the room. Alright, so we can pretty much do whatever here. We can either wait, examine the blanket. What good would we find in the blanket? The hell? Look at the magazine on the coffee table, or stretch your legs a bit. Well, I'm pretty sure you can get a couple of achievements from doing these two things, right? I remember something about examining the blanket. What an interesting pattern. The way the dark blue stripes contrast against the lighter hue is very pleasing to the eye. It reeks of alcohol and dragon. Well, I'm not really sure what a dragon smells like, but okay. You examined Bryce's blanket. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Bryce lumbered back through the door, the handle of a beer-filled basket clamped in his maw. Carefully set the basket on the coffee table and took out the beers one by one. Once he was done, he swatted the empty basket into a far corner. Help yourself if you like. Bryce's store-bought beer looked very different from what I had seen in the bar. They were presented in large plastic bowls that were sealed at the top, reminding me of yogurt containers. He broke the seal on one of the containers with his claw and proceeded to drink it noisily. Sweet, sweet nectar. Always does its job. Can I ask you something? Go for it. Please don't take this the wrong way, but I watched how you carried the beer. I was going to ask how you do daily tasks like shopping, for example, but I guess those baskets are your best friends. That's just how we do things here. Not sure why that's so special to you. That makes me wonder. I know you can use your forelegs well enough for things, but what about your hind legs? Can you walk on those? Good question. If you're just talking about my species, some of us can, at least a little. But me, I probably wouldn't be able to take more than 2 steps that way. Interesting. Maybe that's something I should practice as well. It'd be a good exercise in discipline. Regardless, I wouldn't be part of any competition anytime soon. You have competitions? Oh yes, each species gets their own athletic competition with a few events every other year. That sounds fun. Ever thought of joining in? It's not really my kind of thing. I mean, it's always just about who's the best, and the strongest, and who has the biggest muscles and all that. I'm not into that whole competitive lifestyle. And some of those events can also be a bit dangerous. One accident and it could be over for me as chief. That sounds rough. What kind of competitions do you have? They usually highlight the individual species' strengths and abilities. We get to do strength-based stuff. The flyers get to fly, the runners get to run, and so on. Speaking of which, it's kind of funny just how upright you are when you move. The runners lean forward and use their big tails for balance, whereas you have yours tucked into whatever that is you are wearing. Actually, we don't have tails. Are you kidding? Not at all. Seriously? Everything alive has a tail. How can you just not have one? So I don't think it matters here what we say. So I'm just gonna say, some animals just don't have tails, us included. But tails are wonderful. Just look at mine. That's a pretty wicked weapon right there. And you just have nothing? Can't help it. You know what? I don't believe you. I'm not sure how I can make this any more clear. Show me. So you want me to show you my ass? Oh boy. Alright. Go ahead and show him your ass. Alright, here goes nothing. I can't believe it. You really don't have a tail. Told you so. Why do you cover it up? Why do you cover it all up anyway? It's a human thing. We usually don't show our bodies to strangers. So, friends are fine? That would be an unusual friendship. Let's just say that displaying that area would usually imply more. Is that so? Okay, so we've got tails covered, but what about wings? I don't think we can call those little things on my back wings. What are they then? Articulated pieces of armor, I guess. Can you flap them? I can try. Bryce got up on all fours, grounding his body in preparation for what was to come. Hey? His face contorted into a grimace and his upper body strained. He held the pose for a few seconds, but nothing happened except for his continuous groan of effort. Then suddenly his wings started to move. Slowly at first, they swayed up and down. They gradually picked up speed and moved with a rhythm that could rightfully be called flapping. It reminded me of the pigeons I often saw back home. After holding it for a few seconds, he breathed a sigh of relief as he relaxed and the flapping motion stopped again. A single bead of sweat rolled down the side of his face as he looked at me, panting. That was awesome. Yeah, that was certainly a first. Too bad they don't have any flapping competitions for my species. That was exhausting, just the right time for a beer. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything. I sat back and watched as Bruce took the last beer, opened it, and took his first sip with a slurp. So, I've been wondering, what does it take for someone to become humanity's ambassador? I'm still not quite sure how I ended up here. I guess in my case it was a combination of the right degrees, volunteering, and a great deal of luck. But what kind of job did you have before that? Were you like a politician or a diplomat or what? Actually, I was none of those things. Raza, maybe, but certainly not me. I guess it's not like you needed ambassadors to represent humanity before, right? This makes the whole process a first, unless you had aliens show up at your place before. It's funny that you say that, because for a while there was actually speculation that you were aliens. Well, it's not like we fly around in spaceships or anything. Strictly speaking, the word alien refers to any form of life that doesn't originate from our own planet. So that makes us aliens to each other, huh? Well, I'm not sure if that would be a good descriptor for your kind. Oh, why not? Let's just say that where I come from, the word often carries negative connotations with it. That's no good. What does that make us, then? I don't know. Maybe we'll have to make up a new word for sentient, civilized dragons. What do you think about us humans, anyway? I know many others have their own ideas of what humans are, what they're supposed to be. I'm not buying into all that, so I'll just take it as it is. And how is it? Well, you've been interesting enough so far, and Raza, I'm reserving judgment on that one. It's so funny to see people talking about humans all the time and what your presence could mean. Well, I'm one of the few who's actually gotten to meet you and knows what you're like. And people still don't know about Raza. That'll certainly be interesting. What do you think will happen once the truth about him gets out? I'll start worrying about that once we know what the truth actually is. Good point. You work with the police long enough, you learn not to have any preconceived notions about such things. Take things as they are and do what's necessary. I imagine you've seen many things as chief. I certainly have. They're usually not the kind of thing I should tell people about, though. Why not? Not sure how it's done where you are from, but here people usually don't like me telling them about the horrible things I see at work. I've probably seen worse. What, you want to trade stories? Not really. I see. Man, look at the time. We spent all afternoon talking. Guess I should be heading back to my apartment. You know, a few friends and I do this barbecue thing every year, and it's going to be pretty soon. You want to come? Sure, that sounds fun. Alright, I'll call you later with the details. Can you find your way out? Yeah. See you soon, then. See you. Alright, so that went well. Meet with the store clerk. I don't recall this being here. Where is he? Anybody here? There you are. Suddenly he grabbed my hand and bowed to plant a wet kiss on it with his snout. Hello, Prince. I'm sorry, but I don't think we've actually been properly introduced before. What was your name again? You can call me Zong. Where is everyone? Well, the bar is already closed and everybody's gone home, so it's just us. I see. Wait, is that Bryce sleeping under the table? Oh, that was me talking. Oh, you're right. Guess we're not alone then. Does this happen often? Sometimes. You should start charging him rent. That's an idea. Maybe then I wouldn't have to work 2 jobs. Right, what's up with that? They're both just part-time, so it's no big deal. I see. Which one do you prefer? It's hard to say, really. Bartending is much more fun, but working in the store pays better and is also more stable. At least you get to wear a uniform in both that doesn't exactly seem common around here. Yeah, they're usually very simple. I like this one, but after a while the collar can get a bit tight around my neck. The store uniform is just a chore to get on. The hat, the apron, it all feels a bit constricting. So, this is really bizarre, because this was not an option before. To say I can see that. He was interrupted by a loud snore that came from under the table. When I looked down, I saw it was Bryce turning over in his sleep. What, Bryce? You want another beer? Sorry, mate, but the bar is already closed. Isn't he wonderful? He's a bit rough around the edges, but he seems like a stand-up guy. Let's hope his body doesn't start getting rid of any liquids while he's passed out. Oh no. Don't worry about that. I have my trusty mop for situations like that. Hopefully you won't need it tonight. It's just another part of the job. I'm pretty used to it by now. You seem to know Bryce pretty well. How long have you known each other? Since childhood, really. We both grew up here. If you think he's a bit rough now, you should have seen him in his youth. Such a troublemaker. But you can rely on him for anything. I trust him with my life. It seems like a lot of people have confidence in him as the chief of police. They do, and rightfully so. The things he's done for me personally were way beyond his duties. The mark of a true friend. What did he do? Oh, it's a long story. That has more to do with myself than him, really. Come on, you can't just start out like that and not spill the beans. Well, if you say so. I was adopted when I was merely a hatchling. It's really not a big deal to me, and never really came as a surprise to anyone, considering my parents aren't even the same species as me. My family isn't originally from around here. When I was 8 years old, my father got a job here, so we relocated. Moving across the continent meant losing all my friends, and making new ones wasn't so easy for me. I was young and new and just a little scared. Even back then, Bryce was a very curious fella, especially when other people were involved. He came up to me in school, introduced himself, and we've been friends ever since. Many years later, Bryce was already on the force, and my desire to find my biological parents had grown so much that I had made some efforts to find them. Bryce pulled a few strings, and with his help, I was able to track them down. He even accompanied me on the trip. Do you want me to come inside as well? No, just stay here, alright? Sure. I mustered all my courage and went up to the door of their run-down home. What do you want? Hello, is this the residence of Hyungfo and however the fuck you pronounce that? Who wants to know that? Well, about 20 years ago, you gave up your child for adoption and... Oh no. You know what? I'm not dealing with this right now. We didn't give you away just so you could show up whenever you please. Don't even think of calling me father. I won't. He turned around and went back inside. Just as he was about to close the door again, another person appeared next to him. Don't be rude. Come in for a tea or something, alright? Alright. Here, sit down. I'll go and make us some tea. Here you go. Don't you want to join us? You invited him in. He's your guest, not mine. I don't want to have anything to do with this. I guess he doesn't want to talk. Guess so. Maybe he's not ready yet. Maybe. I guess 20 years isn't long enough. Look, I want to say I'm sorry, but I know nothing I say can make up for what happened. We had to give you away because we were young and stupid. These days, we aren't young anymore. How do you like the tea? It's alright. Oh, I've got something for you. These names are getting really, really fucking confusing for me. I'm struggling to narrate because I don't know who the fuck is who, and my cat won't shut the fuck up. Shut up! Fucking cat. Okay. He's trying to get my fucking attention. Waiting until I stream to try and get my attention, of course. She got up, walked away from the table, and vanished into a different room. Hang Fu was sitting on a couch nearby in front of the TV, his eyes glued to the screen. Okay, so that's the father. Hang Fu is the father. After a few moments, however you pronounce that, return and join me again. Here, take this. What is it? It's a hat we got you when you were little. It's one of the few things we still have from back then. Thank you. You want some more tea? No. Okay. I don't want to ask you this, but do you have some cash to spare? We really need some food, and Hong doesn't like to go hunting. Just brought enough for the trip back home. I don't think that... Oh, you don't have anything? Then what are you still doing here? You can watch TV, but not provide for your family? What a man. Get out of my house. No, please. Yeah, maybe it's time for me to go. And don't even think of coming back. How dare you come here and disturb us like that? Is there a problem here, sir? Who the heck are you? Police. It sounds like you might have some trouble here. Perhaps of a domestic nature? Not at all. I'm sorry, Zong. He doesn't know what he's doing. I can see that. Come on, Bryce. Let's go. You're done? I think I've seen what I need to. Alright. Damn, so he's got a fucked up childhood. I cried so much that day. Sorry to hear that. I wish we could have actually seen them, though. But I can kind of already get a good picture of how crazy they are, so... Rednecks. Trailer trash. You know. Kind of like that. Anyway. Not that it matters much anymore. It's all in the past. But Bryce, he's been there for me when I needed him then, and he's still here today. Well, except for the part where, in a way, he's responsible for the whole town now. How's he handling it? Pretty well, I'd say. Everyone trusts him, and he thinks he's doing a great job. Anyway, let's put on some music. Give the old jukebox a little whirl. Sure. He got up and walked over to the jukebox in the corner to look at the selection. Let's see. What kind of music do you like? Actually, I'm not sure if your music is in any way similar to ours. Let's just put on a few different songs and tell me what you think, alright? Sure. Feel free to pick anything that strikes your fancy. Alright, how about rock? Without further ado, here we go. What is this, like 8-bit? Does this sound like rock to you? Yes, rock music from the NES. This reminds me of that Sam and Max game. Alright. Oh, is it too loud for you? I didn't consider your ears maybe more sensitive than ours. Let's just try something else. Alright, let's see what else he's got here. How about piano? Ah, something easy. Do you know what a piano is? You can play the piano? Not really. Not that many can, actually. There are many kinds of instruments that can only be played by certain species, you see. Makes sense? Alright, now listen to this. Well, it is an actual piano this time. Okay, that's not bad. Didn't you like it? It's alright, I just want to try something else. I see. Alright, let's listen to some classical. Now this one's a real classic. I think it's one of the oldest songs we know about. Well, this is great music to fall asleep to. This does sound familiar. I feel like I've heard this before. Or maybe I just heard something very similar to it before. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I swear it's like I've heard this before. Alright, well, let's try something else. Want to hear something else? Alright. How about electronic? This is something a bit more modern. Literally all their music sounds like it could just be in like a Final Fantasy game. Yeah, this is pretty good. What do you think? Not enough action for my taste, or it makes for nice background music? It does kind of make for nice background music. Yeah, you're right. Maybe not for the bar, though. Maybe. No, definitely not for the bar, but it is good, though. Alright, how about some orchestral? This one's a bit slow, so you'll have to wait a while for it to get going. Alright. Again, this just seems like it would just fit really well into a Final Fantasy game. Not bad, though. Like, really, honestly, not bad. It's just kind of funny how all their music sounds very similar, like, genre-wise. The only thing different, really, would be the instruments, right? And I guess the tempo. Alright, I get the gist of that. What's your verdict? I mean, it was pretty decent. Like, it's good for certain things. It's one of my favorites, actually. Oh, really? Yeah. Alright, now finally soundtrack. Now, this is something a bit different. It's from the soundtrack of some video game, I think. Does anyone recognize this? I'm not as familiar with the retro games, but I would not be surprised if this actually was from Final Fantasy. So, what do you think about this one? I mean, I like it. Really? I didn't think you would. Why's that? Just a guess. You listen to a bunch of music just for the price, admit it. Audiophile. Listen to a bunch of music. What kind of music do you like, anyway? I like a bit of everything, really. Yeah, it's kind of like me. Dark Blizzard 95 says, Discord is getting rid of the pointless number next to our usernames. Why would they do that, though? I actually like the fact that they did that because it helps reduce impersonation. If everybody has their own unique tag ID number, then you know who's who. It's unfortunate that they're getting rid of that, and a bit surprising, too. I didn't hear about that. Thanks for letting me know. Anyway, he says, I actually collect all kinds of music and paraphernalia, and the jukebox is curated by me. Oh, nice. Sometimes people even donate some stuff they don't need anymore. I'm pretty well known among the patrons for it. Is this stuff on display over there yours too? I'm actually trying to sell those. You're selling your collection? I'm only downsizing. That's just a player and a few old records I'm trying to sell for my holiday fund. Oh, where are you going? It's going to be a family holiday, just my son and myself. Mainly for my son, though. We're planning to travel across the whole country, making stops in various cities along the way. I've been planning it for a while now and trying to save up to make it happen. We could never really afford a vacation while his mother was still around, so what happened to her? I wish I knew. We fought a lot back then, about all kinds of things. When I think back to that time now, it seems like that was all we did. Argue about petty things that people don't need to argue about. Of course, it's easy to say that after the fact, and when it's already too late. I would never have thought it was bad enough to warrant doing what she did, though. What did she do? One day, she was just gone, packed up her things, and left in the dead of night. I don't know where she went, or what became of her. In the end, I think she just wasn't ready to be a mother. This was almost 4 years ago now. But yeah, that's why I think we need that holiday, to spend some quality time together. It's also why I took that second job in the grocery store. He's going to turn 9 in a few months, and I wanted to surprise him with it then. He saw this movie where a family goes on vacation across the country and all kinds of crazy hijinks happen along the way. He loved it so much and asked me all the time when we were going on a vacation like that. I just want to give that to him. I think he needs it. You said his birthday is in a few months. Will you be able to afford it? We're more than halfway there already. With the second job, it really shouldn't be a problem. I'd just like to have more of a buffer, because this holiday will have all the bells and whistles you can imagine. I see. How about I buy some of those records? Really? You said they're for sale, right? Yes, but I'll just put it down as expenses in regards to my visit here, so it'll be all taken care of. You would do that? Maybe after you played some of that music, I just can't resist and need those records for myself. Actually, I'll need the player too, because I doubt those are going to work with our own players back home. Besides, I could really use a souvenir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me just get that for you. Here you go. Definitely keeping it. Thanks, I'll take good care of it. I'm sure of that. So, I suppose you're back in the game now, huh? Game? What game? I mean dating. What makes you think so? Well, what's all this? Why'd you ask me out? You seem like a nice person. I wanted to know what you're like. Do you kiss the hand of every nice person you meet? Yes, you got me there. I suppose that makes my intentions rather obvious, even though I know it won't last. Besides, I'm not sure if I'd call it a game. That's something that Bryce would do. I'd prefer to take things slower and have a lasting relationship. Okay. Just say I agree. I see. Why do you ask me out if you know it's not going to last, though? Bryce told me about you, you know? It made me realize I've got to get out there again. So the first thing you do is ask out the strange visitor from an exotic place? Be honest, you just asked me out because I'm human? Not only. I figured you could tell me more about how humans date and give me some advice. I'm not sure if my experience would be worth anything here. You're bound to have a different perspective of everything that goes on here. Maybe you pick up on things we haven't considered. I just want to hear your opinion. It's not just about dating, you know. Well, let's talk about dating if you're interested in that. I doubt I'd be able to have a frank discussion about this with just anyone I meet here. Alright, I think by now you've got a taste about how Bryce is with these kinds of things. He likes messing around. It seems like he's got some new every couple of months. You should see him on some nights and how people just swarm around him. Can't blame him for that, though. He's a popular guy. Do you envy him? No, I don't want what he has, but I'm finding it hard to find just one prospective partner. You'd think I'd pick up on these things while working, but then it's typically not long-term relationships that are formed here. I see. I don't exactly have that much free time to put myself out there. I'm also not getting younger, and don't forget that I already have a child to take care of. That doesn't make things easier, you know. In a way, you're not just dating the person, you're also dating the kid, if you know what I mean. Now that just sounds wrong. You know, but I do understand what he means, though. Oh, shush. It can make things rather difficult, that's all. Alright, maybe we'll have to work on your approach. What's the first thing you notice about dating a person? Their personality. Really? I meet so many people here every day. When they're customers, the thing that always stands out about them most is how they treat their servers. I see. Besides, I'm not interested in a relationship based on looks. I like talking to people and getting to know them that way. This also makes the whole thing harder for me, because I have to invest a lot more time to find out if we're compatible. You know, if a relationship doesn't work out for Bryce, he could just find someone else the next day. But for me, this process can take a few months. I can imagine. I don't think there's a recipe for success I can give you, though. Why not? You seem to be doing pretty well already. You're nice and polite. I don't think you need to do anything different. Is that what you think? Yeah, sure, it may take a while to find someone, but I don't think there are any shortcuts for what you're trying to do. Just keep going, and it'll happen eventually. Besides, you've got some time to figure things out for yourself with your vacation coming up, right? That's true. It'll be an eye-opening experience in a number of ways. Maybe the relationship front is going to be one of them. Now that's the right attitude. And on that note, maybe we should call it a night. It's pretty late. Yeah, you're right. Well, thank you for the wonderful evening. Likewise. Not to mention the advice, and for buying my stuff. You're welcome. Be safe, take care, and maybe I'll see you some other time. Maybe. Leadership, Chapter 3. So I wonder how this is going to go. Because we've already met with Bryce twice, and there doesn't seem to be a listed for a third one. But I definitely was not expecting that encounter with the server. I was not expecting that at all. So it's cool that we got to meet him as a side character. And then once again we encounter the next murder. And this is pretty much back to the same old, same old. I don't think this is going to go any differently, despite the relationship with Bryce being considerably higher than the first time around, or any of the other subsequent playthroughs up to this point. Yeah, this doesn't seem to be changing either way. Oh, I definitely would love to skip ahead, please. This is a very long scene here. You did a thing. Don't look at me. I'm just the messenger. What? Utterly pointless. Play Chapter 3 after you've seen at least 5 endings. Holy shit, I've seen 5 endings of this game, man. Really puts it into perspective. But what the hell is that about? You did a thing. Don't look at me. I'm just the messenger. Okay. Utterly pointless. Literally, that is pointless. I have no idea why that pops up. I guess they had a space for an achievement to fill, so they just decided to fill it with that. The hell was that? Anyway, let's visit the store again, because that's where we can meet with Vara here. It is nice that we're able to learn more about him, though, too. And honestly, I didn't even notice that he was the same guy. That was the server. I didn't even notice that until he brought it up. Like, oh yeah, my other part-time job is the store clerk. I'm like, oh shit, that is him. I didn't even notice that until he pointed it out. Okay, so this part doesn't really matter. Let's, playing the best burnout. That would be the third one, right? I still feel like Kasaru was the best character to voice act for me. I had the most fun voice acting him. And I think I did the best job voice acting him, too. Oh shit, do you have Burnout Paradise? Yes, I do. I have it on Xbox and on PlayStation. Actually, I have it on PS3, PS4, and Xbox One. So yes, I have multiple different versions of the game. Poor Kasaru. I helped him once, but I never helped him again. We can play that? Yeah, we could, actually. Yeah, that's still online, isn't it? At least the remastered version is. Yeah. Yeah, we could probably play that tomorrow. What system do you have it for? Because we can play it on PlayStation or on Xbox, so... whatever you prefer. Study the blueprint, read the structural damage report. We'll just play a prank. I'm I'm not sure what you were intending to do there, Dark, but you posted an I and then a comma. And that was it. That was your whole message. Yes, we rummaged through the trash. Oh man, that took up so much time. Alright. You did well in all investigations. Maybe you should be a private detective. Oh shit, flawless run. Do well in all investigations in a single playthrough. Nice. Nice. Good shit. I think at this point, I think we got pretty much all of the good achievements. Like, all that's left is, like, getting the achievements for getting the bad endings. At this point, just about. Just about. The only major achievement left to get is the true ending achievement. That's by far the most valuable achievement, because everything else is worth 15 gamer points. The true ending achievement is worth 85. So, yeah. Definitely the biggest one out of all of them. Looks like there are some messages on the answering machine. Let's see. Hey, Prince, remember that barbecue I told you about? It's pretty soon, so you better be ready for it. All of the guys from the department will be there. We always have tons of fun, and some of us even stay overnight. Would be cool to have you come along. If you want to come, let me know so I can hook you up with the details. A dragon barbecue party with a human as the guest of honor. Not suspicious at all, Bryce. Oh, we can listen to the records. That's pretty cool. I'm thinking about doing that. Hang on. Let's go ahead and put a new save in here. Just in case it ends up taking up time or something, or fucks something up. Oh, nice. So you can listen to any of them again at any time, I guess. Okay, that's pretty cool. So now that you got the records, you can actually listen to them at any time. That's pretty cool. Okay. I like that. That's a nice touch. Alright, so let's meet up with Bryce. I might have to record that for the soundtracks. I might record all of them in all their length and put it up on my vlog channel. I've got a ton, and I mean a ton of videos that are ready to go on the vlog channel. I just haven't posted them yet. So look forward to that. I'll probably post some of them up tomorrow. And there's a couple more things that I just haven't gotten around to uploading yet that are just kind of sitting on my hard drive as a backlog. But anyway, there you are, Prince. Seems like you're the last one. I thought I was on time. Oh, you are. It's just that everyone always gets so excited about this that they come a little earlier. I thought it was strange how late you're holding this little get-together anyway. It's simple, really. Now we get the speech all to ourselves. Before you go and meet the others, I should probably warn you. What is it? There is someone here that you may not approve of. Let me guess, Maverick. Yup. Why is he here? All things considered, I think it's better for him to be here where I can watch him, than if he was out there doing who knows what. You know what I mean? Besides, if I invited you and not him, I'm not sure how he would have reacted. He's always come to my barbecues before. Plus, maybe if I talk to him, I can find out what he's up to. Does he know that I'm here? Yes, and he assured me that he will keep the peace. Can you do the same? Heck no, I'm out of here. I'll try, or sure. Yes, I can keep the peace. Thanks, I appreciate it. Let's just hope there won't be any incidents. Alright, let's go and meet the others. As we walked a few paces, I saw some familiar faces. Usually there'd be more people here, but with everything else that's going on, some of the others at the department couldn't get any time off. Hey everyone, guess who's finally here? You may remember Zong, the waiter at the bar. Hello, Prince. Hey. Hey, Sebastian. Is that you, Sebastian? What are you talking about? Sorry, I didn't recognize you without your little cap on. That's a good one. Oh, you're already bringing out the jokes. Let's see how long you're going to last in this company. Hey, Prince. Hey, Maverick. Well, that was a wonderful conversation, Maverick. I'm glad we met up together. Alright, let's get this barbecue started. I don't see a grill or anything here. And where's the firewood? Duh, they're dragons. They don't need a grill. You see that pile of stones over there? That's our grill. And firewood. Well, we don't need that. I see. So, who shall light the fire? I can make my own this time. Very subtle, Sebastian. No need to be subtle about it. Zong, your fire stunk up the whole area last time, and it made everything taste weird. I didn't notice a difference. Yeah, because everything tastes the same to you, Maverick. I told you, I had the flu. I'm pretty sure you gave us more than just your fire. I think we got some of your spit in there, too. Yes, because of the flu. Everything was congested, so it was hard to get anything out at all. You're not making this any better. Excuses, excuses. I'm just telling you how it is. Besides, it wasn't even my idea to light the fire. You were all like, oh, Zong never lit the fire. He should do it. Don't blame me for getting... Don't blame me for getting what you wanted. Yes, and we learned our lesson. Zong, not even once. You wouldn't be complaining so much about it if it wasn't for the flu I had. Maybe I should light it again this time to prove you wrong. No thanks, last year was bad enough. Why don't you do it, Bryce? I'm not sure if I'm feeling up for the task. Why doesn't Prince do it? I like that idea. Yes, let Prince do it. It seems we have an unanimous decision here. Go ahead, Prince, show us what you got. Suddenly, they all looked at me, clearly expecting me to light the fire for them. I don't suppose you have any matches? What? I can't breathe fire like you. They were all still watching me, not moving or batting an eye, when suddenly laughter erupted. Okay, guys, I get it. The joke's on me. Should have seen your face. Yeah, it was great. Don't pay any heed to them. They're always like this. Yeah, I noticed. Seriously, though, who should light the fire? You really want to do it, don't you, Seb? Is it that obvious? Just go ahead, then. We already agreed Zog is not doing it. Hey, I told you I could prove you wrong this time. Yeah, let's not ruin our barbecue 2 years in a row. Maybe next year, then. I don't feel up for it this year, and with Maverick's aim, he probably shouldn't either. I'd rather not risk anything. I couldn't hit you any time. Oh, I could hit you any time. Sure, but we just want to have a barbecue, not set the whole beach on fire. Besides, Sebastian's fire always makes the food so crisp and smoky. I like that. Any objections? Nope. Me neither. Master of Ceremony, would you light the fire, please? It's not an easy job, but someone's got to do it. Sebastian went up to the small bed of stones they had prepared. Since his back was turned towards me, I couldn't exactly see what he did, but a few seconds later, a fire started burning among the stones. There we go. Well done, Sebastian. My pleasure. Alright, everyone, pick your poison. Just to get you up to speed, Prince, we've got pretty much everything here you could ask for. Of course, we have all varieties of meat, but we also have some vegetables and cheese if you're into that sort of thing. We even got some of the algae stuff we usually bring from Noami, one of the girls at the department, but she couldn't come tonight. Wait a minute, is it pronounced Naomi? Like Naomi from Metal Gear Solid? Just help yourself, and throw it on the fire. Sebastian always gets some veggies with his meat, whereas Zong gets totally crazy over the cheese stuff. Now that I think about it, maybe it was just that damn cheese that made everything so bad last time. Oh, shut up, or else I'll force feed you some of it. Dude, you like Metal Gear Solid? Man, I love Metal Gear Solid Dark. I thought you knew that already. No thanks, keep your cheese to yourself, please. Where was I? Oh, right, I go for the meat, personally. As I said, the algae is normally for Naomi. She really likes this stuff, but she's one of the water kind, so that's not a surprise. I tried it myself once, not really my kind of thing, but feel free to take some if you want to. And then there's Maverick. He just eats whatever he can get into his muzzle. A few years ago, a sandstone managed to hide between some slabs of meat he got. He didn't even notice, and he just kept on munching. Yeah, but that was with Bryce's cooking, so I couldn't tell the difference. Tee. Why you? After all of us had made our selection and put it on the fire, we sat down in a circle around it. Of course, Bryce made sure that Maverick and I were not sitting next to each other. Yeah, it's probably for the best. So, Bryce, how's that stint with Emera going for you? It's weird, I'm not really doing anything. I just have to follow her around and stand guard in her office. But what's worse, I think I found out why she wanted me to do the whole thing in the first place. Oh, do enlighten us. It's kinda embarrassing, to be honest. Nah, you definitely have to say it. Alright. The real reason why she wants me to be around her so much is that she totally has the hots for me. Oh, come on. Seriously? You wish. You all know what she's like in public, right? But as soon as it's only the two of us in the room, she's like a totally different person. It's unreal. I mean, I believe that she's different in private, but still. Of course, Bryce. When you make up a story, just going out with a high-ranking politician isn't enough. Obviously, she also can't resist your manly allure. But it's true, I'm not even interested in her. For one, she really isn't my type, and regardless if it's her public or private persona, her personality really sucks. Oh, is that about sucking? Oh, shut up. If no one wants to believe me, I'll just stop before I get to that really bad stuff. I can actually confirm that she does act like a totally different person when she doesn't think she's being watched by the general public. Interesting. Okay, Bryce, why don't you tell us more? What exactly does she like about you? What's not to like about me? We get it, Bryce. Let's change the subject. It's true, I swear. Then give us some details. What's she like in private? It all started innocently enough, but as I told you, when we were alone, she started to get kinda weird after a while. She wasn't even remotely subtle about it either. Once, even the words cavity search came up. From her, mind you, not me. Oh, come on. I can't even listen to this anymore. And then later, she was suddenly like, oh, my back is so stiff. Would you mind giving me a massage? You look like you have the proper strength to give me a good one. It's like she's not even trying to hide it. Did you give it to her? Of course not. I told her. I'm no good with massages. That's the truth. Who would have thought? Do you really believe him, Seb? I'm not judging, just listening. Amira wanted to give her a massage, hardly constrains her having the hots for you, though. I'm not even done yet. Well, I'm done with this. Earlier today, she told me how nice it would be for a child to grow up with two leaders for parents. Actually, I don't think even Bryce would have come up with that one on his own. I'm not buying it. Hey, at least you believe me, right, Prince?
I kinda do, actually. Like, I know he's kind of a jokester or whatever, but he's not... Like, it does kind of seem like a lot to just make up, you know? It does seem like a lot to make up. I do. I can totally picture Amira acting like that. See, I told you, if Prince believes it, it must be true. Can't argue with that logic. Maybe it's just the alcohol talking. I didn't even have anything yet. Sure, but with as much as you drink, your blood is like at least 10% beer by now. I bet you can't even get completely sober anymore. Anyway, what do you think I should do about her? Nothing, because you made up the whole thing in the first place.
No, but it does kind of seem like that's something that she would kind of say, though.
If I don't do anything, I'll probably end up having to marry her or something. And at that point, your story would actually be credible. Why don't you just tell her to stop? It's not that easy, considering our positions. Even though I'm the chief, there's nothing I can do to prevent her from pulling me off the case and making me into her personal bodyguard. If I tell her off too strongly, she could totally make my personal life a nightmare. And she totally would. I see, so this is a situation that requires careful deliberation and subtlety. Not exactly your strong suits, Bryce. That's why I'm asking you lot, not that you're much better, though. Maybe you should play along for a while just to see what happens, and then, once the time is right, you strike. And strike refers to what exactly? I'm not going to indulge her in any way, shape, or form. Ugh, this is the kind of situation that's going to cause a huge uproar if I include it in my memoir. What's going to read your memoir, anyway? Well, I know at least one person. Prince, what do you think I should do? I kind of agree with Maverick on this one, actually. I would play along and see what happens. Seriously, you think I should string her along? Well, you said she could make your personal life a nightmare, but if you play along a little, maybe the opposite is true as well. Not a bad idea, now that I think about it. That kind of makes me curious, though. How does dating work in this world, considering there are so many sentient species around here? Is dating between different species encouraged? Maybe that's why Emiria is so interested. Is there ever any crossbreeding? I'm sure those questions will go over well in this group. Crossbreeding, that's funny. Well, there isn't any crossbreeding, it doesn't work like that. Besides, I thought you were into biology, so shouldn't you already know where hatchlings come from? You're a completely different life form from what I've seen before, so I didn't want to make any assumptions. There are many interspecies couples, though. And what happens if those couples want to have a child? There are plenty of options, though usually it's either adoption or a child where only one of the parents is biologically related. Emira totally wants my children, though. Don't you want to be a father? Heck no, I'm not ready for that. I wouldn't even know what to do with a hatchling. I'd probably end up breaking its neck by accident or something like that. What about you, Prince? What about me? Are you having the hots for someone here? As Bryce would put it? To be honest, I have no idea what that kind of relationship would be viewed where I come from, so we only have one sentient species. I'm not sure what sort of social norms we develop if that changed. Technically speaking, you dating one of us is no different than Amira dating Sebastian, for example. Hey, I'm not going between the beautiful thing Amira and Bryce have going on. If you ask me, you can do whatever you like as long as you're here. Knock yourself out. Actually, Prince has been hanging out with you a lot, Bryce. Awkward. So what, Prince is a cool person in my book. Or do any of you disagree? Not me. No comment. By the way, I think the food should be ready now. Good catch. Dark Lizard says, I played Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. The alert sound was so badass. Personally, Dark, I think you should play the first two. You say I should do a Metal Gear Solid stream. I like the first one. Yeah, okay, so you did play the first one. Yeah, you definitely got to play the second one, man. That one's surreal, and I'm telling you, man, the second game fits so well in today's world that it's really kind of insane. Like, it really does hold up really well. Where can I play those again? Well, the first one is a little bit more difficult. I think you can still get it on the PlayStation Store on PS3, possibly. Obviously, you can get an original copy. You can play it on a PS3 through, a physical means, or a PS2 or a PS1. I don't think it's on any modern platform, though. That's the problem. May have to get it on my PC through the emulator. Yeah, you're probably better off going that route. You could also, for the second game and the third game, it's actually a lot easier because they have a remaster that came out on the Xbox 360 and it's backwards compatible on the newer Xbox systems. And I played Metal Gear Solid 2 a couple of years back on my Xbox One. And that's how I played through it again. And I really enjoyed it. Anyway, back to the story here. Slowly, everyone shuffled towards the fire, which by now had become nothing more than an eerily glowing pile that illuminated the area. One by one, everyone took their hot food from the stone bed and placed it onto the provided paper plates and bowls. When it was my turn, I hesitated, since I could still feel the heat radiating from the stones. Something the matter? I think this might be too hot for me to handle. Right, no scales. Let me get that for you. There you go. Thanks. We resumed our positions in a circle around the glowing stones, and I waited for my meal to cool down while the others started eating. Yup, crisp and smoky. Good job, Sebastian. Don't mention it. Really, it's good. Maverick really does not talk much at all, does he? Like, he does not like to talk. He's just silent through most of this. I'm still not sure how you can eat that cheese stuff, son. Are you going to make fun of my food choices again? To be fair, we make fun of everyone and everything here. I don't mind the cheese. You wouldn't mind eating the whole bed of stones and everything on it as well. At least I try something different every once in a while. I do too. I think there are at least 5 different kinds of meat this time around. Case in point. The food remaining on the stone slowly disappeared as everyone got their additional helpings. Soon, even the last piece was gone and silence started to set in as the banter slowly died down. I think it's time for me to leave. What, already? Hey, the babysitter can only stay so long. Oh well. Yeah, I should also be heading off. You know I'm starting early tomorrow. Well, I guess we all got what we came here for. What about you, Maverick? Looks like this party is over anyway. Don't you all get lost in the dark then? Of course. And until next year. Thanks for inviting me, Bryce. I suppose I should be heading off as well. Oh, no you don't. What are you talking about? Well, they all live in the vicinity, but your apartment is on the other side of town. I'm not letting you go home alone at this hour. Braza has always operated during the night, and he may just be waiting for an opportunity like this. What do you want me to do then? You can sleep over at my place, if you insist. Damn, now everyone left without cleaning up. At least you're still here to help me. Of course. We started to clean up together, but with the amount of trash left by 5 people, it was clear it would take a while. And I like how they listed it as people. Anyway. Hey, what do you want to know where I got... Oh my god. I'm getting tired. Let me try this again. Hey, do you want to know where I got these scars? I bet you're curious. Yeah, you mean the scar on your face? Dark, yeah, I know, man. He says, I'm so happy Lone Mad Might is gone. That motherfucker was annoying. Yeah, dude, I don't know, it seems like ever since that guy lost his cat, he's just been a complete prick. Like, I don't know what his problem is. I told him, like, everybody was telling him basically, like, dude, just drop it. And he just could not drop it. How did he find you? Honestly, I don't remember. I've known them for a long time, like probably 4 or 5 years. So I honestly don't remember. But it's kind of a shame that it had to end like that. But I don't know, just they changed for the worse, man. Because trust me, they were not always that much of a fucking prick. But even I was getting sick of it. Like, and Level 1 has no connection with him whatsoever. I'm surprised he put up with it for as long as he did. But if he hadn't abandoned him, I probably would have, because I was getting really sick of his shit too. As you could see from my messages, I was telling him like 2 or 3 times, like, dude, just drop it. No, Level 1 banned him, I didn't. He did, but I probably would have if he hadn't of. Anyway. What scars I never even noticed, not if you're uncomfortable telling me, or go right ahead. Not if you're uncomfortable telling me. It's no trouble, gotta pass the time somehow. At least they make me look extra intimidating at my job. No one's going to mess with the big, rugged chief of police. You'd probably think I got them from some crazy near-death case, but that's only true for one of them. The other was a completely different story. Well, I think I remember how he got the one on his face. But where's the other one? I don't see any other scar on him. Like, I'm looking all over his body right now. I don't see any other scar. Back when I was a kid, some of my friends and I always used to play outside and go adventuring together. We could go anywhere, as long as it was close enough to town. Woods, mountains, beaches, we'd love to explore every one of them. We got fairly familiar with our surroundings. Then, one day, we heard from someone that there was a system of caves nearby. Caves! That was something completely new to us. Of course, we went there as soon as we could. We were all very excited. It wasn't a big cave system, not big enough to get lost in. But we still had so much fun that day. So much, in fact, that I wanted to go back there right away. The next day, I called up a few friends, but they had a longer school day than I did. So instead of waiting for them, I decided to go alone. Turns out, going out exploring on my own was a little less exciting than doing so with friends, but I still had a pretty good time. And just walking through the entire underground system was quite an experience. Plus, since I was alone, I could take the time to explore every last nook and cranny that I wanted to. Maybe that was my mistake. When I was in one of the remote corners, the ground suddenly gave way and I fell about 5 meters into the cave below. Luckily, I didn't get any serious injuries from the fall, but as I looked for another exit, an ominous realization set in. This cave had no entry or exit except the one I came in. There were a few holes, but I could never fit through any of them or make them bigger in any way. Even if I could, I didn't know where they'd lead. In the end, I had to try and climb out on my own, but as you can imagine, I wasn't exactly the best climber in town. Even so, I still got about halfway before I lost my grip and fell down again, cutting my muzzle on the edge of a rock in the process. It bled pretty badly, but at least I knew to put pressure on the wound. I couldn't try to climb out again, however, so I waited. Damn. He's lucky he got out of there alive then, because nobody else knew he was down there. I actually kind of thought that he might have gotten that scar from the encounter with, what was that? Anna told us about it. The encounter he had with Maverick's brother. That's what I was thinking of, Maverick's brother. I thought maybe he got it from him, because I don't remember exactly how that encounter went, but I remember he was trying to stop him. And Maverick ended up saving Bryce. Because Anna told us about that. I'm a little surprised that he hasn't mentioned that at all. Bryce hasn't mentioned that at all to us. But anyway. It took several hours for anyone to even notice that I was missing. I must have been there for about 4 or 5 hours, all alone, before I heard footsteps above and a search party found me. Long story short, it turned out that besides the cave system we knew about, there was a much larger one right underneath. Those caves can only be entered with a guide now. And I got this lovely reminder of the experience on my muzzle. I had plenty of time to think while I was down there, and later in life I often returned to that experience. At first it made me want to get stronger, but I realized that strength alone wouldn't have saved me. Our kind will probably never be able to climb much at all, but I can at least try to better myself. I guess the whole experience also kinda explains why I'm building those stupid wooden models now. Feeling so helpless while I waited down there, it also made me realize I wanted to help others. Having been saved by police sure did a lot to make me want to follow the same path. Turns out I was good enough to even become chief. Guess that's all of the trash. Thanks for the help. I suppose I'll have to tell you about the second scar some other time. Let's head back now, shall we? Sure. And Dark says I knew he was gonna get banned. Yeah, I mean, I knew after he couldn't let it go after like 24 hours. That's when I knew. I'm like, alright, this dude's just gonna get himself banned. He's just pissing people off at this point. He should have just dropped it after the initial conversation. I don't know why he couldn't. He was up until like, what, middle of the night, whining and crying about stupid shit. You know, it's just like, come on, man. So petty. I don't know why they had to act that way, but it doesn't matter now, they're gone, so... Yeah, it's unfortunate, but, you know, it is what it is. Looks like it's already later than I thought. We better head to sleep soon. You can take the couch, and I'll just sleep on the floor or something. Don't you have a bed? Oh, this is just a temporary arrangement. I wanted to be closer to work, and the new apartment wasn't ready yet, so I have to stay here for a while. I see. With all this armor, I'll barely even feel anything, so it doesn't matter where I sleep. There's no need for you to sleep on the floor. What do you mean? I'll sleep on the floor. It's only fair, it's his apartment. The couch is big enough for both of us. No, it is not. Look at that couch. You think a freaking dragon and a human can sleep on that fucking couch? You're crazy. I'll sleep on the floor. You've already done enough with the barbecue and everything. Well, if you say so. I'm not going to argue. See you tomorrow, then. See you. I mean, it's only fair. It's his apartment, and besides, sacrifices have to be made if we want to get that good ending. Looks like I have some free time today. Alright, so now we're gonna get some well-deserved rest. Now I'm just gonna spend the day sleeping, since he probably slept like shit. How about that? Okay. So I know there's something for chapter 4 that we need here. Hang on. Okay, so I'm a little, oh, good. These are the results from the test Anna ran on my blood. Okay, so that's good. We got the test results. And it says, because it says, give Anna your blood and see the results of the test, then ask Maverick to wait. I'm not sure what we need to say. So apparently one of the upcoming scenes is going to be different. Because I remember this is about the hatchery, right? The scene was the hatchery scene. Yes. Okay. So we have to tell Maverick to wait. So I'm actually not going to skip this, because this seems like this might go different. This is actually the same. Here we go. Tell Maverick to wait. Okay, so this is gonna go different. So normally he just leaves, right? Shortly after they vanished, Maverick also turned to leave. Tell Maverick to wait. Wait. He stopped and waited for a few seconds. What do you want from me? Do you have something against humans in general, or is it just Raza and me? Do you think you're superior to us because of your wings and teeth and claws, your fire? Or is it just jealousy or projected hate? I know the first day I met you, you were all hung up on people paying attention to us because we're human. I can assure you, there's nothing about us to be jealous about. Our world is a wasteland. He closed the door before he turned back around to face me. You're really playing that innocent role, aren't you? Now you're offering yourself as a bargaining chip for Raza. At this rate, even I might start to believe you if I didn't have a reason not to. If I were with Raza, it would have been much easier for me to pull a gun on you too, the day you were shot, but I didn't even bring one when I came through the portal. Plausible deniability, or as we like to say, good cop, bad cop. If Raza's plan fails, you and the rest of humanity can disavow Raza's actions as his own, and still go through with the trade as agreed, and Raza would be dealt with however. Yet, if Raza's plan succeeds, you will have given us nothing, and still have gained what you wanted. If Raza got away, you'd still have me, though. If your world is a wasteland, don't you think losing you is a price it would gladly pay? Maverick's words made me think, did I really have the complete picture before I stepped through the portal? I guess that would explain why I got the job in the first place. Besides, Raza only stole the things humanity wants, so he's clearly not just doing this for himself. His actions only started after the confrontation with you, though. Maybe none of that Maybe none of this was planned. Don't be stupid. Do you think I've forgotten about the secret messages he sent you? I still don't know what he would have told me that day if you hadn't interrupted us. He wanted to discuss his plans with you. Only after I found out about the secret message he sent to you did I realize that all the messages sent back and forth between the portals could have been similar, even before your arrival. When the police searched Roz's apartment, of course none of these older letters could be found. Those did not have any secret messages. Is that so? None that I knew of, at least. When he sent me that secret message, I initially had no idea how to read it. But you knew it was a secret message? Yes. But that is not true for messages he sent before you came through the portal? I don't think so. Maybe those messages weren't intended for you then. We're not that different, you know. What are you talking about? I reached into my pocket. I still have that? I don't know how long it's been. I pulled out the wrinkled piece of paper and showed it to him. According to these test results, humans and dragons show remarkable similarities for different species from different evolutionary lines and completely different worlds. Why do you think I care about that? It wouldn't make a damn difference to me if other dragons came through the portal instead of humans. I was the only one who followed Raza and knew something was off, but all of my concerns were swept away in the wind. It was never about you being humans. It's about my people not hearing my pleas, and the leniency they were willing to show you, all in the name of fostering this diplomatic relationship. But you two came in here and strutted around like you owned the place as you tore my home apart. The blood of those who died is on the hands of everyone who allowed this to happen. If they had listened to me in the first place, maybe I'd have caught Raza that day. I was wounded, and things would look very different right now. I agree. Then why do you blame me for suspecting you? All this time I've just been helping the police. So have I. Maybe they'll finally catch Raza, and we'll see how all of this turns out. Wait a minute. You had Anna perform these tests for you? It was more the other way around. She was the one who wanted to study my blood. Suddenly, I'm not surprised that you had these tests done. She can be ruthless when she wants something. What did she do to get your blood? She asked nicely for it. She asked nicely? Nothing else in this world right now could be worth more than samples of your blood, and you just gave them to her. You know what? Maybe I was wrong. Even if humanity and Raza could have cooked up a crazy plan, and even if they are willing to sacrifice either of you for their own gain, maybe you really have nothing to do with it. Maybe you are just clueless. It doesn't really matter much, though. After all, you have nothing to gain from me if I change my opinion of you. To me, proof is the only thing that really matters, so my feelings on the issue are not important. If you work with the police long enough, you just learn to take things as they are. Maybe with you, I'll have to admit that I was wrong. But I won't ever stop looking for those who are responsible for this, and if I find them, I will show no mercy. Then I had to wait. Bryce and Sebastian were observing the farm now, and if anything new happened, I would be the first to know. I spent some time looking around Bryce's office, studying all the material he had gathered about the case, though there wasn't any information that I hadn't already known about. And then everything kind of plays as normal here. So we got to go over to the hatchery, and we know, of course, because I did read in the guide, that he does die if you allow him to go in, so we obviously can't let him go in, especially on this playthrough. Okay, so I'll do it. I noticed the dialogue might have been a little bit different there for the choice, but it plays out the same though. Okay, so we can just kind of skip all that. So I
don't think this part matters, right? I'm curious how we're gonna end up with Bryce inviting us to see the fireworks, right? Because we gotta see his good ending, right? So every other character up to this point, they've invited us to see the fireworks together. Damn. So that does not go well, if you're not on good terms with Anna here, if you're just neutral. She's just like, pretty much like, look, my place got raided, just piss off. Okay. I don't think anything else matters, though. Let me just double check. Yeah, so apparently we've already met the requirements for Bryce's ending, so I don't think this part matters, so we're just gonna rest in the apartment. So maybe he'll give us a phone call. Guess we'll find out. Yeah, this is a little bit different. Okay, and then we get the ambassador scene. I want to skip ahead. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, moment of truth. Moment of truth. Let's meet with Bryce. Let's see what happens here. Must be him. Hey, Prince. Hey, Bryce. I know you said you wanted to get out of that small apartment of yours, but I'm not sure if mine is much different. Well, I figured yours couldn't be any worse than mine. And now that I'm seeing it from the inside, I have to say the consul didn't do a bad job with it at all. I assume it's appropriate for someone with my status. Whereas the chief of police has to make do with whatever he can get. You said it was only temporary. It is, but I'm really getting sick of it, to be honest. I can imagine. Anyway, what's the plan? Plan? We gotta do something, right? If you want some entertainment, I could offer you a bookshelf full of it. Here, Sheridan and the Sculptor of Serenity should be enough to last you a while. No thanks, I have enough fiber in my diet already. I suppose you're not a fan of reading, then. Why would I visit you just to read some crummy book? And besides, I do read from time to time. What do you read? Signs, menus, magazines. I don't think that counts. No, reading a magazine does count, I would say. Let me take a look around your apartment, then. Feel free, though I'm not sure if there's anything special about it. I watched with amusement as Bryce headed for the kitchen. So, that's what you're really looking for. Guess what? I found something. He showed me one of the cheap bottles of wine that had been in the cupboard since I arrived. Why don't you raid the fridge while you're at it? No thanks, this will do for now. Oh, I get it. You want to play spin the bottle. Sure, we just gotta empty it out first. I assume you don't mean emptying it into the sink. Of course not. That'd be a terrible waste. A terrible waste of the second cheapest wine from the store. I don't know how you humans are with stuff like that, but here we don't throw away perfectly good things. I'm not sure this wine would qualify as perfectly good. Hey, at least it's not the absolute bottom of the barrel. Now, are you going to help me with this or not? Sure. Alright, let's make it one glass for you and the rest for me. You think that's fair?
If I had to guess, I'd say I weigh 5 to 10 times as much as you do, so this is as fair as it gets. You say so. I opened the kitchen cabinet to find an appropriate vessel for Bryce, but when I turned to ask him about it, he had already opened the bottle and was sucking on it like a baby. I suppose that means I won't have to do any dishes. How does it taste? Like wine, I guess. Cheap wine. Besides, I thought you were more of a beer person. Hey, I take what I can get. Jeez, he's kind of an alcoholic, isn't he? God dang. Like, I figured, like, okay, he's the kind of dude that likes to have a beer or two after work, but, like, I didn't expect it to be like this. Holy shit. Just a few minutes later, the bottle had been emptied completely. I'm not sure if drinking like a dragon is a phrase, but if it isn't, it should be. Hey, I kind of like that phrase, drinking like a dragon. Makes a lot more sense than, when people say eating like a bird. Like, that's a phrase. People want to say, oh, they eat like a bird, meaning like they don't eat very much or they eat very little. But that's like a really stupid kind of phrase for that, because actually birds eat a lot. Like, birds eat a shitload. I can tell you as a person who owned birds, like, yes, birds eat a shitload of food. So it's always kind of funny to me when people have said that over the years. Oh, that person eats like a bird. Oh, so you mean they eat a shitload of food then? Anyway. Hey, not everyone can drink like me. I see. And now we can finally play Spin the Bottle. Don't we need more people for that? Tim, you're right. Now I drink all of this for nothing. Somehow I think the whole Spin the Bottle thing was just an excuse so you could drink the wine. What? I would never do such a thing. Of course not. Well, we could still play it with just the two of us. At that point, we wouldn't even need the bottle anymore. Come on, where's your sense of funness? Is that even a word? We're here to relax. You should lighten up a bit. It's a bit hard to lighten up given that everything that's been happening here. If anything, it's worse now than it's ever been. Roz's actions are threatening our agreement, and with it, the survival of everyone I know back home. But what really takes the cake is that he may have had it out for me because I'm helping all of you. You want to have this conversation right now? Alright, let's have it. Just let it all out. Yeah, why don't we talk about Maverick? He may have had it out for me because he thinks I'm working with Raza. And me? I'm just here, right in the middle of this whole mess, just trying to make the best of it. You know, you're only involved in the investigation because we needed your help, right? I know, and I'm doing what I can, but that doesn't mean it's making the situation any easier. You think I don't know that? Me, the one responsible for every action our police is taking in the matter? If you want to go ahead and blame someone, just blame me. I can take it. I'm not blaming you, I'm just saying this whole situation is something I'm not very comfortable with. And whose responsibility is that, huh? However you look at it, it's me. I was the one who didn't listen to Maverick back when he had his suspicions about Raza. If he had acted then, this whole thing might not have spiraled out of control like it did. And despite what you might think about him, he was the one who found Raza's hideout, even after I forced him into sick leave. We were practically at Raza's front door, and he still got away somehow. If I had done something different, we might have caught him. Let this be my official apology to you. I apologize for anything I might have done to wrong you. I'm sorry for putting you through all of this and having to involve you in our work while trying to fix this whole mess, because in the end, this is all my responsibility. You don't need to apologize for anything. He hurled the empty bottle against the wall on the other side of the room where it shattered into pieces. Then what do you want me to do, huh? I don't know. You think it's easy for me, seeing so many people die on my watch? Do you think I don't keep asking myself the same questions, what I could have done differently, and if that would have made a difference? You'd think as chief I'd be used to it by now, but I'm not. How could someone ever get used to this? It's my duty, you know, but I can't save them all. Never could. You've been to more than enough crime scenes by now. How have you remained so calm? Do all those who have died not matter to you? I'm sorry for making you look at corpses on your very first day here, but you know I had to. Your help here has been invaluable, and it's not like I could ask anyone else. It's the same for me, really. Sure, they could ask someone else to be chief, but if I'm the one who's best suited for the job, who am I to reject that? Otherwise, I'd have to blame myself for every mistake the other chief made. Is that why you drink? It might come as a surprise, but actually the alcoholic police chief used to be a huge stereotype in our world. Really? You wouldn't believe it. Actually, I do. The research about alcoholism in the police force is out there, but the general populace doesn't know about it. It's all just internal documents. Why don't people know? They don't want to know about unhappy things like that. Besides, they trust their chief. If they knew about it, maybe they'd start to have their doubts. I thought it was common knowledge that you visit the bar fairly often enough that you're friends with the bartender. I don't know. Maybe they don't realize how it affects me. They see someone who can drink a lot and does it for fun. They don't realize what it means. What other stereotypes about the police are in your world? That is the biggest one. I see. Well, alcoholism and suicide both are huge problems in law enforcement. Suicide? Yeah, if you have to deal with the things we do on a daily basis, it can affect you in pretty bad ways. Everyone has their breaking point. We all just cope in our own different ways. Some do it better than others. That's why I'm worried about Maverick right now, and why I wish you had known him as long as I have. You think he's at his breaking point? He's taking this whole Raza situation very personally. I'm just worried about him, you know? Just like I'm worried about everything else until we can sort out this whole mess. It's personal for me too. No matter what you may think about Maverick or what he may think of you, he still found Raza's hideout, which led us to the generators. I guess you have both helped a lot in this investigation. My point with all this is, we're all a very tight-knit group at the police station. Me, Sebastian, Maverick, Naomi. The bond we form on the job is how we know to look out for each other. I can tell you there's nothing else quite like it. What do you think? How many more have to die to stop Raza? If anything, he's more dangerous now than he's ever been before. You know how much he depends on how all this turns out. Whatever happens, I'm just glad to have known you. Remember, when I told you about the wooden models I'm making? I never told anyone else about that, as much as I like everyone at the department. It's just not something I can talk about with them. You saw us at the barbecue. I'd never hear the end of it. I'm sorry about the bottle, by the way. I'd clean it up, but don't worry about it. It was empty anyway. Heh, that's the prince I like. Oh, you won't believe what happened with Emma at work. What did? Well, I did what you told me and played along with her. She asked me for a massage again a while ago, and you gave her a massage? Honestly, I have no idea what I did. I don't know how to give a massage, so I just pressed and rubbed her here and there. What did she do? Well, she seemed to like it a lot. There was a lot of grunting and moaning, plus she gave me a lot of compliments. I guess there was a lot of tension she needed to get rid of. She should visit a massage parlor then. They have people there who are way more qualified than I am. Do they? Yeah, usually it's those who have better hands than me. But then, she doesn't really want the massage anyway. She just wants me. What are you going to do next? I don't know. After I gave her the massage, she told me to go home and take the rest of the day off. And the next day she acted like nothing happened. Did she deny that it happened? No, I didn't even bring it up. We just went on with work as usual. Strange. I get the feeling she might ask me to do it again soon. What will you do then? I'll probably just do it again. If I can get the day off, I can at least go back to the department and work on the case a bit instead of doing nothing in her office all day. Good point. It makes for an interesting story, that's for sure. True. Can I ask you something? Go ahead. If I told you that I'm a time traveler from the future, what would you say? Time travel? Isn't that something that just happens in bad science fiction novels? Why only bad science fiction novels in particular? Don't you think there could be a good one? Let's just say all science fiction novels, because they're all bad. Huge generalization aside, what if we are in a science fiction story and time travelers are real? I'd want to see some proof of it first. That's not something you come across every day after all. What if I confided to you as a friend? You'd still have to show me some proof or else I'd call you out on the joke. What if I was serious? Well, it's pretty far out. That's the kind of thing someone would make up to scam people for their money or something like that. Alright, let's forget about time travelers. What if I told you there is another human here besides Raza and me? This is getting kinda weird, Prince. Just entertain me for this question. Well, unless you had some sort of proof, I'd call you crazy. As a member of law enforcement, aren't you supposed to follow up on every report? Yes, but that doesn't mean we have to believe everything. If there is no proof, we'll look for proof. If we don't find some, well, without any proof or leads to follow, there's nothing we can do anyway. I see. By the way, when you and Sebastian went to the farmhouse to go after Raza, you just left me alone with Maverick in the same room. I did? Yeah, I was worried there for a few seconds. Don't you worry about him. You mentioned that you had a talk with him about a week ago, and that didn't end badly for you either. He might be scary, but I don't think you need to be afraid of him. He's got a very strong sense of justice, so he wouldn't do anything to you without a good reason. When we were alone, we had an opportunity to talk where he made his position very clear. Did he threaten you? No, I was honest with him, and in turn, I think he was honest with me as well. Oh, really? Yeah, I had nothing to hide. If he was willing to talk, I wasn't going to turn down the opportunity. How did that go? I think he doesn't suspect me as much anymore. Guess leaving you alone with him wasn't such a bad thing after all. I suppose you could say so. I just did. What's that outside, fireworks? Yeah, it must be the summer festival. You wanted to get out of your apartment, and rather than go to the festival, you came here? The festival isn't really anything special for me anymore. Seen one, seen them all. Besides, it's usually more a thing for families, really. I see. Are those the fireworks people keep talking about? No, they have a fireworks show every evening. Nobody really even cares about the first couple of days. It's only on the last day when they bring out the big ones. I usually watch those. Oh, so if there's big explosions, then you care? Well, yeah, but it's a big tradition here. Maybe even an ideological one. You know, everyone in the whole town, united under the stars, watching the beautiful fireworks. It's a thing. People have been telling me for the last few days how I just have to see them. You know, you kinda owe it to us as an ambassador to take part in a cultural event like that. I'm going to go anyway, so you don't need to convince me. Wanna come with me? I know all the good viewing spots. Most of the popular ones are usually super crowded, and we probably want to avoid those. I can't really promise anything right now, but I'll keep it in mind. Well, you've got my number, so let me know as soon as you can. Sure thing. It's getting late, so maybe I should get going now. I suppose so. Thanks for coming at any rate. Thank you for having me. Don't forget to call me about the fireworks. Yeah, sure.
Alright, looks like we got Bryce's ending in the bag. Hell yes. There's no reason to do anything else, so we'll just go ahead and rest. Dark Lizard 95 says, "What the fuck? A new SpongeBob game came out?" Not that I'm aware of. Where'd you hear that from? Leadership, Chapter 5. I literally just saw it on the Steam page on PC. Oh, What's it called? There we go, Bryce. Here we go. It's called SpongeBob Cosmic Shake. Oh, yes, I heard of that one. Yep, that is a new one. That must be him. I hope you're ready to see the fireworks, because I brought everything we need. In front of him, there was a woven basket that was closed at the top. It reminded me a lot of a typical picnic basket. What are you talking about? Snacks and other things. You'll see. Let me guess. Booze. Anyway. I kind of wanted to apologize for last time, so maybe I can make up for that. Don't mention it. I'm glad you're even willing to see me again after what happened. I'm serious. Let's just forget it and focus on today. Alright. Let's go then. After a few minutes of walking, we arrived at a rather empty-looking area near the edge of town. Where's everyone else? I thought the whole population was watching the fireworks. Well, there are more public spaces, but someone like you would get pushed around a lot in the crowds. Besides, I think you'll appreciate the solitude. If you say so. The fireworks should start any minute now. If you're hungry, you can grab something from the fun basket. Fun basket? That's what I call it. I didn't know snacks were that much fun for you. They certainly can be. Besides, there are other things inside as well. Oh, I think it's starting. We waited quietly as the stillness of the night enveloped us. Soon, I heard the sound of the first rocket making its way into the night sky, after which it exploded in a pattern of colors. More rockets followed, their thunderous noise echoing throughout the land.
Suddenly, a terrible realization hit me. Considering how public an event this was and how everyone would be watching the fireworks, now would be the best time for Raza to make his move. Not only was the village basically deserted, but the sounds of the fireworks would also overshadow any gunshots, giving him as much security as he would ever have. As the portal had been repaired by the mysterious person I met, now was the perfect time for Raza to make his getaway, and I was the only one who knew. Bryce, I think we need to go, now. What, do you want to take this somewhere else? I know where Raza is. What are you talking about? Are you sure? I'd bet my life on it. Then we have no time to lose. Let's go. We arrived at the portal just a few minutes later. While I checked out the portal itself, Bryce looked around the area. I was glad to see it was still turned off. Had it been used recently, it would either still be running or in the process of recharging. Raza was still here, somewhere. Damn it. What is it, Bryce? Hesitating, I drew nearer. He's dead, but still warm. That bastard. Raza hasn't used the portal yet. How could he? Isn't it broken? Not anymore. Looks like someone repaired it. Then he must be close, but where is he? What is so important that he won't leave without it? The underground building. The administrator had told me all about the prowess of the generators within. It probably hadn't been hard for Raza to guess the same, or to try stealing it from a place he knew would be even more deserted than the rest of the village was right now. That must be it. So, what do we do now? We could wait for him here, but I think I've got an even better plan. What is it? Let's just do it like last time. You go in first, and I'll stay behind and out of sight. If you meet him, you can confront him and maybe talk him down, but if he tries to flee, he'll still have to get through me first. Alright, let's go. Bryce led me to the dig site where they had unearthed the building's entry. Once we got nearer, he stayed behind and motioned for me to go forward. He slowly followed me, trying to stay in cover as I entered the building. So, yeah, you gotta admit, Bryce is pretty brave. I think he's like the only character that's actually, like, not going to get help. Like, he's just following you. He's not even calling for backup, which is pretty ballsy. Anyway, inside I was met with a long illuminated hallway that was lined with doors on both sides. Since the lights were already on, Raza had to be very close. I wasn't surprised at the building still having electricity, since its generators were also powering the portal. Suddenly, one of the doors opened, and out came Raza, carrying a large cardboard box. When he spotted me, he sat it on the ground. There you are, Prince. You don't know how glad I am to see you. I've wanted to talk with you for so long. I even tried to contact you, but that didn't work with one of them on your tail the whole time. But talking can wait. Now that you're here, we've got everything. Come on, help me with this and let's get out of here. No. No? What are you talking about? I'm not doing anything until you answer a few questions. You want to talk now? Sure, why not? We probably got a few hours if we wanted to. None of them will disturb us here. We can even get the backup generator as well after we send this one over. When did you realize we were in the past? How did you know about the comet? I've known for a while. It's what I wanted to talk with you about when we met at the portal. How about you? I only recently found out. Looking back, it just seems so obvious to me now. I'm not sure how exactly you figured it out, but there are so many damn clues when you think about it. I mean, how could a supposedly completely different, independent civilization speak the same language as us? What was this supposed to be? An alternate reality? No, it was just a different time. When was there ever anything resembling these creatures on Earth? It's not hard to make the jump from dragons to dinosaurs when some of them here look pretty damn near identical to dinosaurs we knew about. And then there was also the prehistoric fruits, the plants, and the fact that their technological level is nearly exactly the same as our own past society. But we don't even have to think that abstract. You just needed to look at the sky. The sun, the moon, even the stars are the same. Constellations change over time, of course, but you knew we could account for that stuff. You could have just pointed your PDA at the sky and it would have told you the time period, including the imminent threat of being eradicated. You could even see the meteorite in the sky and how it would change its position day after day. Are you done being condescending? I guess so. You killed those dragons, Raza. What are you talking about? I didn't kill anyone. Don't lie to me. You did it. I remember it now. What do you mean? That doesn't make any sense. Are you telling me you weren't the one who stole the generators and those other things these past 2 weeks? No, I was in hiding. After what happened at the portal, I didn't dare to do anything that could jeopardize our mission. Why didn't you just come back? How could I? They wanted to arrest me. I was a fugitive. I was surprised they didn't apprehend you, but then you weren't the one who shot at one of their police officers. Come on, Raza. The murders only started happening after you were gone, and the police have gathered plenty of evidence. You're the only one with a motive. All I did this whole time was try to find ways to contact you so you could talk to our people and figure something out for me. Why would I escalate the situation like that? Besides, how did you know so much about what the police were doing? I've been helping them because you were going about this the wrong way. I didn't kill anyone, I'm telling you. They have proof, Raza. I've seen it myself. Just turn yourself in and we'll go from there. Nobody can help you if you don't do that. No, I'm not going to turn myself in for something I didn't do. Not for these beasts. Who knows what they'll do to someone like me in captivity? How else do you expect this to end? I'm not doing anything until I've got free passage back home. Actually, I could just leave this place right now. The portal's fixed after all. That's not going to happen. Let me ask you one thing. How exactly are you planning to stop me? I'm the one with the gun here. You would shoot me to save your own hide? Only if you insist on standing in my way. You're not going to get away that easily. What are you going to do, huh? I'll be long gone by the time you call the cops. I don't need to, Raza. They're already here. Suddenly, Bryce and Maverick were standing next to me. You planned this, didn't you, Prince? Traitor! And to think I let you distract me with such a cheap trick, just because I thought there was still a shred of humanity within you. He pulled out his gun, not sure which one of us he should be aiming at. Just let me go, and I'll forget this thing ever happened. You've got 6 bullets for 3 people. Do you think you can really do that, Raza? Do you think this is worth risking your life for? I've been risking my life for this every day for the last 2 weeks. What did you do during that time? Sip champagne in your nice apartment? Besides, this generator and the whole building came from our time. They belong to humanity. Suddenly, the administrator came out of the shadows in the hallway beside Raza. No, they belong to me. Confused, Raza spun around, aiming his gun at the newcomer who was slowly walking towards him. Who the fuck are you? Freeze! I said freeze! Want to waste your bullets on me? Feel free. You can't stop all of us. If you say so. He pulled a trigger and the administrator fell to the ground with a dull thud that knocked her mask off. My first instinct was to run away, but as Bryce and Maverick started charging, so did I. Raza was quick with his aim, shooting both Maverick and Bryce twice before pointing his gun in my direction. I quickly dove behind the box with the generator for cover, just as Raza pulled the trigger multiple times. Only a single shot came out and lodged itself in the box. Though I was seemingly unharmed, a loud hiss began to emanate from my cover. Everybody run! It's going to explode! I started running towards the exit and was soon overtaken by both Raza and Maverick. I looked back over my shoulder to see Bryce grab the administrator before he started running as well. Just as I reached the outside, the explosion knocked me off my feet. There was a rain of small debris as I heard the walls of the building shaking in their foundation. As I looked up, I saw Raza fumbling with his gun and as Maverick pounced on him. He bit into Raza's neck and strained for a second before ripping a large chunk out of it. Raza wasn't moving when Maverick walked off and came towards me. Where's Bryce? I looked towards the entry, which was now mostly blocked by debris. He must still be inside. Then what are you still waiting for? Come on! We ran towards the rubble, only to see the administrator calling through a small hole as she removed the last bits of debris that separated her from the outside world. Afterwards, she laid down, panting heavily. Water began to trickle from the new opening. It's the water pockets. The building must be flooded. And he's still inside. I'll clear away the rubble, and you try to find him. We both set to work as I stuck my head into the hole that the administrator had crawled out of. The place was flooded completely, but luckily, even through the water, I could still see Bryce as he also tried to clear away the rubble from the other side. Quickly, I pulled my head back out of the hole. He's on the other side, trying to get through. Who knows how long he's been underwater? Give him some air! I took a deep breath before I went in again. I extended my arm to grab Bryce's muzzle. Luckily, he seemed to understand what I was going for as he moved into my reach. I pressed my lips to his muzzle, giving him some much-needed air. I drew back, repeating the same process a few times while Maverick cleared away the rubble, until eventually Bryce surfaced, panting heavily. Are you alright? Yes, let's get away from here before the empty water pockets cave in or something. Maverick carried the administrator while he went uphill towards the portal. When I came across Raz's corpse, I took the time to strip him of his gun and ammo, not wanting the dragons to find them. Meanwhile, the administrator was sat on the ground, and Bryce checked out everyone's injuries. Luckily, it seemed both Bryce's and Maverick's were comparatively minor and didn't need any immediate attention. The administrator was not so lucky, however. She squirmed as Bryce moved her clothes out of the way to get a good look at her bullet wound. No, don't. As I returned to them, I heard Bryce audibly gasping. Damn it. Is it bad? Prince, do you remember the first victim? The blood on his muzzle from fighting back was neither yours nor Raz's, but still distinctly human. I thought it was an error, or that our DNA tests weren't compatible. But Raza doesn't have a matching bite wound from him. She does. I considered the implications of Bryce's words, whereas Raza usually didn't hesitate to admit the killings to reach a goal he thought noble. He had denied any such actions this time. Of course, there was no use ignoring the evidence before us. This could only mean one thing. Why did you do it, Azuma? Why did you kill them? He did kill them, you know. Just not in this timeline. If you can even remember my name now, then you should also remember what else he would have done. How he would enslave them to use as weapons back in the future, and how he doesn't care what happens to this world. I had to do it in order to put you on the same trail he would have. If I had come to you during the first night and tried to explain to you that I am a time traveler who had to kill in order to prevent a suffering that is magnitudes greater, genocide, slavery, would you have believed me? Who could have known that sometimes even Raza can change? If he didn't kill anyone, there would have been no investigation, and you wouldn't have known how dangerous he is when he shows his true colors. You just saw that even in this scenario, he wouldn't shy away from shooting others to get what he wants. Besides, I didn't want to risk jeopardizing our experience by changing things. It could erase all the progress we have made and the things we learned over the many times we've done this now. If I didn't shove you out of the way in the cellar when the light fixture came down, you would have died then and there. That's what happened the first few times. There was a lot of trial and error involved to get where we are now. You wouldn't believe the lengths I have to go to every single time, and the consequences if I don't. You could not have followed the same path and arrived here if I didn't kill them. The fact that you remembered that it was originally Raza who did, it only proves just how important this is. Only if the events stay the same long enough will you be able to learn from them and remember, despite the effects that the repeated teleportations have on your memory. This only tells me that I made the right call. If Raza had nothing to do with it, then what was he doing when he was trying to take the generator? I slipped him a note he thought came from you. It said to meet here and take the generator before you'd leave together. He played his part well enough so you couldn't tell the difference. So he really did think that I planned all of this? That I lured him here to have him arrested by Bryce and Maverick? For all he's done, I think he deserves to know what betrayal feels like. I've listened to this long enough now. It was you, and that's all that matters to me. No, Maverick, don't do it! I'll tear you apart! Bryce tried to go between them, but Maverick aimed his shoulder squarely into Bryce's bullet wound. Bryce collapsed, convulsing in pain as Maverick pounced on Azuma and tore into her. Meanwhile, I put a few bullets into the gun I took from Raza before I aimed at Maverick and pulled the trigger several times. Maverick collapsed instantly and looked at me with a pained expression. Beneath him lay Azuma, dead. Why? He was trembling and took a few slow steps towards me, only stopping when I aimed the gun at him. Stop right there. She killed them, and you protect her? We needed her. I told you I'd show no mercy if I found the killer. Just when I thought I could trust you, I should have known you'd shoot me, just like Raza did. No, it's not like that. Then, why? I don't think I can explain. He shook his head weakly. Thanks for proving me right, Prince. Do you remember when I confronted you a while back and asked you to explain your reasons? You told me I wouldn't understand. You're right, I don't. His head slumped as he closed his eyes. He was dead. Damn. And I'd like you to keep in mind that this is a good ending, supposedly. Seems more like a bad ending to me. But damn, man. Jeez, it's a lot to take in. Hey, Bryce. I'm afraid I've got some pretty bad news for you. What is it? We were able to power the portal again, even without the generators from the lab, but we still couldn't re-establish contact with humanity. Why not? Ever since the portal got sabotaged and was repaired, the coordinates, the connection to humanity's portal, it just isn't there anymore. Can't you locate it again? We don't know how. We found a different set of coordinates in there, but for some reason we aren't able to use them. I know, only I can. They are for traveling back in time to the day of my arrival. I guess you really are a time traveler, huh? Now that you know everything, that really shouldn't surprise you. What are you going to do now? Well, I guess returning to humanity is out of the picture. So it's either staying here or using the portal to return to the day you arrived here. Oh, that time travel business is too complicated for me. Azuma had it all figured out. I'm wondering what she would think about this outcome. All she ever wanted was to save you dragons, just like Raza only wanted to save humanity. Neither shed away from killing people, so maybe you shouldn't look to them as pillars of morality. Either way, I'm not sure if you really have much of a choice here. They don't actually know if they can stop the comet. Of course, they'll try, but without the generators from the lab, it's not looking great for us. I initially came here to help humanity, but if I go back with what I know now, maybe I can help you too. At any rate, it was nice while it lasted. Hey, no need for melancholy now. It's not as if we're not going to see each other again. Soon I was preparing to return to the day of my arrival. Despite her actions, Azuma had made a good point. Thinking about the knowledge I had now, I realized just how important it was to remember, and how it would help me during my next attempt. No doubt, the teleportation would erase some of my memory again, but I could think of a few ways to retain some knowledge. Not only did I take my own written account of what happened with me, but there were also physical reminders I could bring to remember, such as Azuma's mask and cloak. With her gone, I was now the one with the most experience. As I made my way to the portal, I realized that in order to make this mission a success, to save everyone, this time, I would just have to save myself. Oh shit, man, this is good. Alright, that definitely sets the stage for our final playthrough of this, right? Wow. We now have every other character's ending. So I've been going for about 2.5 hours now. I think I'm going to finish it tonight, guys. I think this is going to be it. Now, it's worth keeping in mind, too. Apparently, this next playthrough is going to go a little bit differently. There's going to be a lot of little subtle changes. Because the game is aware that I have all the other characters' endings. So, let me take a look here at my guide here. Okay, so here it is. End game. The final run. You may notice something different when the administrator pushes you out of the way in Chapter 2. And now you can do anything you want without messing up the relationships. So we're permanently going to be on good terms with the characters. Very interesting. It says, important. Go to Tatsu Park during the second investigation and get the Bloody Bandage achievement inside of the hatch. You won't be able to get it in future runs if you reset after this. Well, I already have it, so there's no need to go and do that. So this is... So basically, we don't have to do anything in particular, right? We can just go through the game. And we'll just play it as normal, and we'll see how this goes. You've seen Bryce's good ending.
Alright, there we go. Murderer. See Bryce's good ending. It's hardly what I would consider to be a good ending, but there we go. So now we have all the characters on the screen here at the title. I will be right back. I'm going to use the restroom and get some more water. And then we will start the final run of Angels with Scaly Wings. Be right back. Okay, you guys ready for this shit? Let's do it. Continue your journey, Prince. We're gonna end this journey tonight. Enlightenment, Chapter 1. So let me just confirm there's nothing, like, let's see if there's any other little changes here. Looking at my guide right now. Trying to find the part where it talks about the last ending. No, it doesn't seem like there's anything else. So this is it. It just, you pretty much just play through it like you would on a first playthrough. Except that we can just kind of skip everything this time around. Apparently the only thing that really changes is Chapter 2, from what I'm seeing. So we are not going to skip, once we get to Chapter 2, we're not going to skip that scene. We're going to see how that plays out. But everything else, we're just going to... we do have to do one thing, though, don't we? Yes, I want to skip this. Okay, now we can get some well-deserved rest. Forcing us to see one character. But we can skip through most of it. Wow, look how quick that chapter was. Chapter 2. That was quick. Okay. Let me save. Just in case. Because I don't want to accidentally skip the scene that we need to see. Okay, here we go. So apparently this scene is different. Yeah, it's not until we actually get inside here and that chandelier comes down on us. So normally the administrator just pushes us out of the way to save us. It says something different's gonna happen. Dialogue isn't any different. Alright, well, let's see what happens. Sound of creaking metal penetrated the stillness of the room. I looked above towards the source of the noise as it grew louder, and in the next instant I was pushed sideways and fell to the ground, just barely avoiding the giant light fixture that fell from the ceiling and shattered into countless pieces alongside me. Prince, are you alright? The next thing I saw was a hooded figure standing above me, barely visible against the darkness that permeated the room. The figure crouched down next to me, its mask hovering right in front of my face. Merely a whisper reached my ears when it spoke. Be careful, Prince. Then the figure dashed towards the stairs. I think this is going exactly the same. Alright, so I'm a little confused by that. So, just out of curiosity here, let's look at the stats. Yeah, everybody's neutral. Interesting. A Dean is on good status right off the bat. Okay. It's kind of odd. So okay, well, I guess we'll go to the hatch anyway, just in case. I don't think we need to do anything here though, 'cause we've already done this. But honestly, I don't know how you could get this far into the game and have not done everything there is to do by this point. But go to Tsu Park during the second investigation, get the bloody bandage achievement inside of the hatch. So where was that damn hatch again? It was in the Avalon, right? No? No, it was in the it was in one of the districts. Yes, here we go. Which one was it? I think it was in the Avenue. Yes, it was in the Avenue. Okay, so let's open the hatch. You have to hit the two buttons. And then counterclockwise. Yes, I want to skip ahead. Alright, I'm a little confused and a little concerned. I hope that we've done everything we need to do, but I'm starting to second guess myself here. Hang on a minute, I'm reading the guide here. It says endgame final true ending. Also a final evil ending, where you reset and do everything bad to the 5 main characters, which makes something unique happen. Imagine Undertale's genocide route for reference. There's a secret extended true ending which needs 60 in-game achievements to unlock. I have 47. Five good ending playthroughs to get everything required, which will unlock the endgame option. What? There are 5 chapters you can go any route with a character, and with enough bonding you can unlock an option with them at the beginning of the final chapter. The difference between bad and good endings being that you miss/don't choose the secret options with them. In order to get the neutral ending, you have to be alone. You can do this by not building a bond with anyone, or building a bond with somebody but deciding to go alone. The rest will make sense. Read when the neutral ending/first playthrough is completed, you get sent back to before you arrive, and you take the place of the old you. Yeah, I know, we've already went through all that. You can progress without doing the other bad endings for the main characters. The bad endings are the basically neutral ending plus other characters involved, plus something unique happens for every character. You can just skip to the good endings. You might not be able to see what happens in other bad endings without doing a true save wipe though, because, neutral ending spoiler, they could remember subconsciously and do things without your input. If you look at the menu during the playthrough and check stats, if you've gotten the items needed for the option to get a good ending as the story continues, they're acquired each playthrough you go on, and you don't lose them if you reset the timeline. They'll appear at the right side of the screen. We'll just play through this and see what happens. The reason I'm a little confused is because it said that it would be a little bit different with what happens in Chapter 2, but I didn't notice anything different. Okay, let's just keep skipping and just see if we get any option. Because the option should be, at Chapter 5, we should be able to have the option to go to the fireworks with everybody. We will see if that remains true. So I'm just trying to kind of get through this as quickly as I can. Hopefully I did everything I need to at this point, because this has been a pretty long playthrough by this point. I really want to see the ending by this point, the true ending. we'll find out. If not, I really don't know what else I'm supposed to do. You know, like I don't know at this point. Okay, we're already at chapter 4. Just take the eggs to the hatchery. So that plays out as it's supposed to. I don't think that's going to play out any differently. Doesn't mention anything about it. Okay. There we go. There we go. I got it. Yes. Yes. Everyone. Everyone. Yes. You can either go alone or go with everyone. I thought about who I should bring to the show this time. Thinking about it set off a vivid image in my mind of the fireworks I had seen before, exploding in patterns and illuminating the night sky. Suddenly, memories of my many attempts burst forth like the fireworks themselves, all the different things that had happened, the people I met, and also my many confrontations with Raza. I remembered everything. I'm not sure what to say to this. Well, the science behind the time traveling is actually sound and doesn't contradict anything we know about the portal. I can't say the same about the theory with the wormholes and barriers, though. It does confirm what my roommate has been learning, and my own experience. I can't believe this all happened to you, Prince. The proof speaks for itself, really. I'm not sure about this. It just all sounds so... I know, Bryce. Time traveling is only something that happens in bad science fiction novels, right? And I thought this was going to be some sort of intervention. I've already given you proof regarding the time travel. You don't have to believe me about the rest, though. All of you have evaded peril because of this phenomenon. Think of times where you suddenly changed your mind because of what you thought might happen. If you had memories of things that never happened or dreams that later turned out to be true, you have experienced it as well. And some of those nightmares? Yeah, those have happened too. Are you saying that if I had flown during the competition, I would have died? I remember things from timelines where I died. The same must be true for all of you. It's not just your imagination. This is nice and all, but why did you call us here? I mean, what's the point of telling us all this? I know where Raza is going to be in a few hours. The 5 of you are the people I've gotten to know best in the time I spent here, and maybe you even remember some of the things we've done together in other timelines. Now, I need your help to stop him. Why didn't you just call the police about this? You wouldn't even need to tell them about all the time traveling and such. This case was already getting too big for us, and we still haven't gotten the reinforcements we requested from the city. With the fireworks going on tonight, we really wouldn't have had anyone to spare. You want us to stop him? That sounds dangerous. He's killed at least 4 people so far, right? And let's not forget that he still has his weapon. What's in it for me? Having a part in stopping a murderer would probably get you a civil honor. Wouldn't exactly look great on us to give someone a medal and throw them into prison the next day, just saying. Knowing Amira, she'd probably make a big parade out of it and have her pardoned. Sounds like a deal to me. Of course, she'd only help for your own good. At least I consider my options instead of following someone blindly. Prince tells you to fly and you only ask how high. Princess called us here to stop Raza. If we want to make this happen, we should all probably start making a plan. Agreed. Same here. So, where's he going to be?
In the underground building near the portal. He'll try to steal its generator. I see. Previously, I only realized where he was once he was already inside, but this time we can think about the best way to stop him. If we're just going to storm the place, I should probably go first. For one, I'm a professional, and what's more, I'm also an Earth Dragon. That's what makes me a good cop, virtually unkillable by any would-be criminals. I wouldn't be so sure of that. What's that supposed to mean? Well, all of us together should have no trouble taking him down. I don't want to kill him if we don't have to. Yeah, as the chief, I agree. Even if we outnumber him, let's not forget about his weapon. Our first goal should be to disarm him somehow. How can we do that? Well, I've got a shocker at home. Hit him with that, and I doubt he'll be able to hold anything for a while. And we can cuff him after that. I'll show you how to do it. Actually, I'll let each one of you have a pair just in case. You don't have to bring one for me. I don't think I'm going to be able to use them. Don't worry about it. They were designed with flyers in mind. It's really easy to cuff someone if you know how. Well, if you say so. Okay, we've got a shocker and some handcuffs, but that isn't much of a plan. What are we going to do? Wait for Raza to arrive and then I'll try to cuff him at once? Maybe you should go alone. Yeah, I'm sure Prince called us all here only to confront Raza alone in the end. What are you talking about? Well, if you want to get him with the shocker, your best chance is to surprise him after you've gained his trust. You may think it is safer if we're all there because we outnumber him, but in reality, this will only provoke an aggressive reaction the instant he sees us all. I agree. You may not be able to talk him down, but in the end, you only need to get close enough to hit him with the shocker. I think he's frightened, feeling like an alien in this world. Maybe that's how he could become a killer, by seeing us as something foreign or lesser. But I've tried doing that before, with one of you staying in hiding until things were about to go wrong. That usually didn't work out well as it should have. Because your approach with him was wrong. You tried to talk him down or distract him while help arrived. What should I do then? Go there before Raza arrives and act like you were going to steal the generator yourself. Carry it together, and as soon as you're outside, surprise him with the shocker and cuff him. Meanwhile, all of us will be in hiding in the area and watch you to ensure that nothing goes wrong. That sounds pretty good. How do you come up with it? I read something similar in a book once. I see. Wasn't that in one of the Sheridan books? No comment. Any other opinions about this plan? I couldn't think of anything better if I tried. You think you can really pull it off, Prince? I'll have to. You better get ready then. I'll have to fetch the cuffs from the department, and Anna should get her shocker. I also have to make a phone call before I go. A phone call? Yeah, to tell Sebastian not to come in for a shift today. Yes, we saved Sebastian too! Good. I didn't think we'd be able to save him. While we waited for Bryce and Anna to return, Lorem, Adine, and Remy stayed in my apartment and made lunch for everyone. After we were all reunited, Bryce showed us how to use the disposable plastic handcuffs he brought. As they were designed to even constrain an Earth Dragon like Bryce, they were nigh impossible to tear. And then you just pull here until they're tight enough so that he won't be able to pull his wrists out. Got it. Does anyone need help? How about you two? No, I got it. You were right. It's pretty easy if you know how. Alright, we've got some more time before we're leaving. Guess we can just sit around and wait. The calm before the storm. By the way, how's that investigation about me coming along, Bryce? That's not something we should talk about right now. Besides, I've been busy with the whole Raza thing, so... Of course you can't tell me anything. I suppose I won't even know when your people will suddenly decide to take me in. Hey, it's not my fault you violated the conditions of your suspended sentence. I'm just following protocol. I better get pardoned for doing this or else. Or else what? I might as well go through the portal myself if I just end up getting arrested here. Just saying. If you don't want to stay here, maybe you should go right now. Hey, I'm all for helping Prince. I just want to make sure I'm covered as well. If what I've read about her is true, then maybe she shouldn't get pardoned. Don't believe everything you read in those tabloids. I can confirm they don't know anything. You don't know the whole story either. Does that mean you lied under oath? Maybe I should reconsider this pardon thing. See, that's what I mean. She only cares about herself. My research has saved thousands of lives, if not millions. What did you ever do for the community? I volunteer at the orphanage, and what's more, I do that just to help them, not for my own gain. Why does she have to be the only one who gets something out of this? Well, all of us will probably get a medal. This isn't really the kind of discussion we should be having right now. And if you lied under oath, then that's something I just can't forget. Oh, we gotta go through the portal again. We gotta make him forget. Do it all again. No, I'm just kidding. What are you going to do about it? I'll make you a deal. You tell all of us right now what really happened back then, and you'll have my support when it comes to being pardoned for helping Prince stop Raza. How does that sound? We don't even need her help. She can just leave as far as I'm concerned. If I'm going, I'll take my shocker with me. Don't do that. I want to know what happened. You'd rather know and let her walk? She's already being investigated. Let the wheels of justice do their work. See, Prince, I just can't catch a break with these people, even when I'm here to help you. She may walk away. She may walk anyway. This infraction was so tiny that she may put a spin on it that makes her look like the victim, just like last time. If she tells us what really happened, then that's something we'll always know about her, and we can be sure she won't do anything like it again. So now you're planning to resort to blackmail? You know what? Do whatever the heck you want. I don't care. Just make up your damn minds. I want to know. Me too. Orem Adine. I don't like this. Alright, let's hear it. The majority has spoken. It all started when I decided to look for new angles to tackle cancer. Since I occasionally work with the police, I got a phone call that they received the victim of some sort of accident. As the victim had no family or relatives, there was no one who could object to her body being used for research purposes. Usually, this wouldn't be anything special, but she just wasn't your usual victim. She was pregnant. For me, this opened up a lot of possibilities. Usually, the council wouldn't allow fertilized eggs to be used for research, but here we were talking about a few fertilized egg cells that hadn't even formed an eggshell yet. They would have perished quickly if I hadn't noticed that she was technically pregnant. I submitted my forms for the research and started my work. Since the material was very sensitive, there wasn't really time to wait for approval, as it would have put the whole experiment at risk. Either way, I was sure the paperwork would go through, and I had other things to worry about than what some busybodies would think about my work. My approach was to tinker with the fertilized egg cell's DNA in order to create a living organism whose immune system would be strong enough to combat cancer all on its own. Once it hatched, it would make a few transplants, and a new way to fight cancer would be born. In order to ensure compatibility with myself, I spliced in some of my own DNA, enough that would be considered a member of my own species rather than the parents. The results of my experiment was incubated in an artificial eggshell, and then it was just a matter of time before it grew up and we could see if the procedure was a success. For some reason or another, however, my proposal became a public matter. Proposals like mine that needed the council's approval could be seen by anyone and were open to discourse, but people usually didn't care about them unless they had some experience in the field. Not so in my case. Once the media got a hold of it, rumors ran amok about what I was going to do. People fixated on some small details and exaggerated the procedures outlined in the experiment. Self-appointed do-gooders who thrive on outrage made a smear campaign against me, and due to all the ensuing controversy, my proposal was ultimately rejected. It was already a shame that an experiment like mine, one that could help countless patients both current and future, could be shut down like this. But there was more. Some people were watching me, and they knew I was doing something in my lab. A group of council-approved scientists were going to come to my lab to discuss alternate strategies for what I was trying to do, but I knew it was partly a setup in order to check that everything that was going on in my lab was legitimate. By this point, the egg was already substantially developed. Knowing of their visit and what my experiment was now legal, I had to get rid of it somehow. I would have smashed it if I could, but the fetus inside was already too big to make it vanish easily. In the end, I decided to leave it on someone's doorstep, disguised as an egg left by unwanting parents. That whole affair got the police department in a lot of trouble too, because it was us who gave you the material. Don't you have a single shred of decency within you? Now, let's not have any arguments here. I could have done much worse than leaving it on someone's doorstep. Besides, don't expect any goodwill from me if you never showed any care anyway. Hey, we were on your side during that whole thing, remember? Yes, but only because I saved your ass more times than I can count. No one, not a single person, has ever been nice to me just for the heck of it, except for Prince. Leaving an egg on someone's doorstep is such a horrible thing to do. Like you would have done anything different in my position? I would have owned up to my mistake because I know these children end up. How they have to grow up if they don't get adopted within a few years, doomed to be nobody's children. You spliced your own DNA in, so you're basically its mother, yet you didn't hesitate to throw your child away when it became an inconvenience for you. Actually, it's more of a clone than a child. Did it even have a name, or was it just a product for you, a failed experiment? Well, she did have a name. I even scribbled it on her eggshell before I left it. Wait a minute. Let me guess, Vara? It would have been around the same time, but... no, it can't be. What was the name? Why do you even care? They probably found her. She went to a nice family and lived happily ever after. End of story. What was her name? Well, if you really want to know, it was Amelia. Oh shit, it was Amelia. I know her. She's been living in the orphanage all her life while you went on with yours without a care in the world. Why even that name? After the mother, I guess. Now that you mention it, I think the victim's name was a bit different. Amelia, that was it. Froze to death during a winter night, if I recall correctly. What? Remy, I never told you this, but shortly before she died, Amelia found out that she was pregnant. That means you... Where is she? Don't worry, Remy. She's being taken care of in the orphanage. We can go there once this is over. No, I want to go there right now. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Yeah, if you're going to meet her, it will take some preparation, and you shouldn't see her when you're like this. Besides, we should be focusing on Raza right now. Agreed. You're right, this is more important. I think it's time to go anyway. Alright, let's do this. Soon we arrived at our destination, and everyone chose their hiding places. It wasn't easy, especially since we didn't know where Raza would come from, but with a bit of scouting help from Adine, they all found suitable places eventually. I went inside, trying to remember the room the generator was in. Luckily, I had plenty of time, and when I found it, I packed it up in a cardboard box that was laying around, just as Raza had done so many times before. Then I waited. Knowing of the various conversations we had in other timelines when we met here, I could think about what I was going to say and what his likely response would be. I also found it interesting that this time, I could be the one who was here first. After a while, I heard footsteps outside. As if on cue, I took the box at the generator and opened the door. Raza, you're here. You don't know how glad I am to see you. I've wanted to talk with you for so long. Where have you been all this time? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. But talking can wait. Now that you're here, we've got everything. Come on, help me with this and let's get out of here. Raza walked up to me and grabbed the other end of the box. Slowly, we made our way through the building. I can't wait to get out of this place. It gives me the creeps. How so? Ever since I arrived here, a lot of weird things have happened. I don't like it. What are you talking about? Something strange is going on in this world. When I close my eyes, I see things. Things that never happen. And things that later turned out to be true. Do you know what I'm talking about? So you do. How is that possible? I don't know, Raza. I had my own reasons for coming here today. I knew now would be the best time to take the generator and leave through the portal. What about you? They aren't looking for you too, are they? No, they believe I'm on their side. Then what are you doing here? I had a feeling you'd be here. I figured it out just like you did. We can't wait for them to build us new generators. Considering they took the PDAs and generators back from you, it's more than fair that we take this as payment and be done with it. Wait a minute. What is it? Something's not right here. Suddenly, he let go of the box, making me put it down. He took a few steps back before he grabbed his gun and pointed it at me. Raza, what's wrong with you? How could you even know the time I was going to be here? Because of the fireworks, we both know they gave us the perfect cover to do this now. No, that's not it. We've been here before. I remember us carrying out the box together, and that time you killed me with my own gun. Raza, what are you talking about? It's all coming back to me now. There's not been a single time where you actually wanted to help me. That girl with the mask, where is she? Raza turned around just in time to see the administrator tackle him to the ground. I ran towards them, but in their scuffle, a few gunshots unloaded. The telltale hiss of the generator sounded through the hallway. I turned around and ran towards the exit while both Raza and the administrator scrambled to their feet and followed me. When we were all outside, I was swept off my feet as the generator exploded. Recovering from the fall, I looked up only to see Raza running towards the portal. Suddenly, Adine swooped in from behind and collided with Raza. He stumbled and fell to the ground while Adine regained her balance and ascended, attempting a circle to face him again. Raza stood up and raised his gun at her when Maverick suddenly pounced out of nowhere and pinned him to the ground. Bryce was running towards them when Maverick looked at Raza, growling, "Don't kill him, Maverick!" "And why not?" "After what he's done to you, you're not letting him off the hook that easily, are you?" "Let me cuff him." "Go ahead." When I arrived, Raza was already secured and ready to go. He spotted me, his face contorting with anger. "You! How could you do this to me? To everyone? You have no idea what I had to do to get here. To get this close of bringing the generator home and to our people. If you had only helped me instead of them, we could have done it too. Where were you when that bastard of a dragon bit me? When I couldn't do anything but lie around in pain the whole day with a festering wound, huh? Or when I waited for you at the portal a week ago, ready to leave with parts I stole to repair it. When I shot my gun a few times, hoping you'd hear it so we could escape together. I risked everything when I waited for you. Maverick nearly got me that time too. I could have left without you if I wanted. I had everything I needed, but I didn't want to just leave you behind. Should I shut him up? No, let him talk. You said we would do anything, that together we could save humanity. All those teleportations messing with our heads. Don't you remember our plan? I never forgot about our plan, Raza. I just wanted the dragons to be part of it too. What are you going to do now, huh? You'll see. Humanity's going to be fine, and so are you. Take them away, Bryce. I just want to know one thing. Who really sabotaged the portal? That was me. I knew it was Raza who was stealing the generators, so the least I could do was prevent him from sending them to humanity and escaping through the portal. As long as he didn't run, he could never completely get away from us. Say it. You were right about nearly everything, Maverick. Just not about Prince. Still, it took an extraordinary amount of bravery and courage to do what you did. Who knows how all this would have turned out if it wasn't for you. It feels so strange to me now, but it feels like I just had to follow Raza. That I even knew where to go and where I would find him. I followed my intuition, but the longer I kept pursuing him, the more I thought I was going crazy, and that it might mean my end if I decided to go down this path. Maybe that wasn't just your intuition. Come on, do what you want to help me show Raza his new cell. It would be my pleasure. Just as they went off with Raza, I saw Remy and Lorem approaching. Izuma was leaning against Remy while they walked up to us together, her overalls bearing a large red stain in the center. She needs help fast. I tried to give her some first aid, but I didn't think it did much. Based on these wounds, I'm not sure if anyone can help her now. She's right, I won't be around much longer, and there are still things I need to tell you and show you, Prince. Maybe I could carry you. No, we have to go alone. Alright, can you all wait for me here? Sure. Please, just don't start arguing again. There would be no point now that we've stopped Raza. It's all good. She actually managed to convince Maverick not to kill him. Ex-boyfriend, and he still listens to me. Isn't that funny? I could tell you about Amelia while we wait. That would be lovely. Azuma led the way as we walked through unfamiliar territory. Maybe I should start by telling you that I haven't been exactly truthful with you. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's fine. Still, now that we are here, I think I should tell you everything. When I was accidentally sent back in time, I wasn't alone. What are you talking about? Do you really think a single person could have accomplished everything I told you about and single-handedly figure out time travel along the way? We were an elite team, sent to break new ground. There were 4 of us. Heinz Foreman, Genocide and Project Lead. Sibyl Thomas, Behavior Specialist. Francis Burdolin, Military Advisor. Lastly, me, Otomo Azuma, Engineer and Maintenance Crew. This is the kind of job that is so top secret that I wouldn't be surprised if we were all killed after we hand over the data. Good thing we're not expendable, huh? Think they're sending us in the middle of nowhere without seeing us as expendable? People, please, first of all, you were briefed about this, so you should already know what your duties will be. I am sure all of you are well qualified to perform as expected, but let's get to what this project is really about. Does anyone want to make a guess? Since I am here, it can only mean something with military applications. Good guess, Miss Thomas. Does it have anything to do with PTSD, perchance? Not quite. How about you, Miss Otomo? I have no idea. Just get to the point, please. Let me sum this up in one sentence. Intelligent. Trainable bioweapons as low-cost alternative to mechanized weaponry in developing countries. Interesting, very interesting. Now, this conundrum we find ourselves in might actually work out in our favor, since we are outside of any jurisdiction now. That means we can do whatever we want during this little project of ours. Just think of the opportunities. You intend to utilize human DNA in this project, don't you? I thought they would do that anyway, and pay off whichever country we would find ourselves in. Yes, but now we won't have to do that anymore. It will take me a while to repair all the damage and re-establish communications with the company. Until then, we're kind of stuck here. Who says we need to wait until then? I don't know. I don't think they'd like it if we just went ahead with the project before they even know what happened to us. Sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. That's how you end up in jail. What else are we supposed to do while we are here? If worse comes to worse, we can just destroy the results. Heck, if this works out, we are the only ones who have a portal into the past like this. It could be only the first of many incredible opportunities. Think about all the animals we could use, the raw materials and plants, even the atmosphere. I can already smell all the rare gases here that we could harvest. I think that's just the ventilation system being wonky. I haven't had the time to adjust it yet. You're only thinking about the company, but what about us? Already thinking about mutiny. I think that would be a bad idea. I thought our salary already contained an internal loyalty and silence bonus. That's the thing with greed. People always crave more, regardless of how much they already have. All this discussion is pointless. I'm the team lead, and I decide we do this. As long as you take responsibility if there are any troubles. I know what the company wants, and I say this will make them more than just happy. In a few years, you will thank me for it. Trust me. If you say so. If we were going to make bioweapons, what animals should we base them on, if we didn't end up here? The great thing is that we don't have to choose. We already have technology that does all that work for us. We just need to provide the samples, and based on our criteria, we get a customized gnome that fits our purpose as best as possible. And you want to give them human intelligence? Why wouldn't we give them as much intelligence as we can? If they can think too advanced, too abstract, don't you think they might start to have independent thoughts? How are you going to control them? That's what Miss Thomas and Miss Boldrin are here for. With the right training, it shouldn't be an issue. Besides, you know what most human soldiers are obedient, right? I suppose so. How do we know this is going to work with dinosaur DNA as well? We'll find out soon enough. Should we? That is not a question we ask at this company. You should know that by now. Have you ever seen Jurassic Park? If you want to see Jurassic Park, you only need to open that door. You will soon find that all your concerns are unfounded, and I'll show you why. But first, let me ask about abilities. Now that we have a whole new world of potential samples, we should be able to find even better alternatives to what we have been planning. What abilities would those be? Flight, armor, fire, to name a few. All at once? That sounds an awful lot like dragons. Dragons are scary, aren't they? This could be a psychological component. To be fair, getting all those into the same species could be complicated. You think you can do something nature couldn't? That's why we're here. What animal is the fire ability based on? The bombardier beetle. We're going to make the mechanism safer and easier to control though. Alright, so we're going to combine animal strengths with higher connective abilities. But how are you going to prevent others from stealing the gnome? Backyard breeders could be a problem. A very good question. There are a number of safeguards we are going to introduce to prevent any unauthorized copying of our product. Firstly, there is the gnome itself. Raising these creatures from infancy to a point where they become usable for their purpose will take some time. Since we are going to do this ourselves, we have a unique blend of hormones to make them reach the stage fairly quickly. Making them grow up naturally is something that will take so much time and resources as to become unviable by anyone who would want to go that route. With us, they can be combat ready in months instead of years. Secondly, all creatures will be equipped with a brain implant. Not only will this give them a variety of advantages, but it's another safeguard against copying as well. Without the chip, they will either become uncontrollable or die. So, even if the gnome is stolen, that won't be worth anything without the chip. That's genius. I know. Could someone just hack or reverse engineer the chip and manufacture it themselves? I doubt it. They're intended to be sold in low technology areas. Even if they can reverse engineer the chip, they don't have the facilities to mass manufacture them. Otherwise, they'd just be using combat robots like everyone else. You want to modify their behavior with technology? Being dependent on a chip sounds dangerous. What if it fails? Don't worry about that. Lastly, there is the training. Training any living being, no matter if human or not, takes time and money. Not only do we have an automated training program, we can also use the implant to accelerate the process. What about direct interference of knowledge into the creature's brains via the implant? That technology is still in its infancy. If we want to get this product out and into the market as soon as possible, we'll need a solution that works right now. Fair enough. It will give the user full control as well. The creatures will be able to learn from experience, but undesirable memories can be wiped easily. Sounds like you have it all figured out already. The company has been working on this project for a long time, and now it's up to us to make it reach its natural conclusion. And what would that be? Our product is the creature, the chip, and the training, all in one complete package. Take away just one of these three components and the product won't work as intended. We deliver them ready to be used in combat from the moment they arrived at the customer's doorstep. I still think we should wait before you rush into using animals that we hardly know anything about. Your opinion has been noted, Miss Atomo, but it won't carry much weight. Despite my objections, the experiments under Heinz Foreman went full steam ahead. Using the genetic material of many prehistoric reptiles, a variety of species were designed. We started our tests with the one that enjoyed the most combat-related improvements, measuring their viability and the effects of our safeguards. Soon, the first proto-dragons were born. One was to be raised as naturally as possible, another was going to receive the hormones for accelerated growth, while the third was to be trained via the automated learning program. The last one was to receive all the safeguards at once. They were all identical clones. Caring for them was a task that ultimately fell on all of us, in addition to our usual duties. For now, the artificial domestication process on the gnome made sure they would be controllable and obedient even without the implant or training. We were already being recognized as packmates and parents by them. While I knew about the added intelligence, I soon had to realize just how far they had gone. It was when the first of them started talking. At that moment, I knew that they would never be free, never be happy. They would only ever live a life of servitude or be used as weapons. They were given sapience, only to face a future of enslavement. I knew that the company would expertly maneuver around the legal system to make it possible. As I had worked my way up the ranks within the company, I had become increasingly disillusioned by the many despicable acts and projects I witnessed. But now I was at a breaking point, ready to blow the whistle on everything I knew about them. While the experiments continued, they relied on me to repair the portal and return to our time, and I could only buy so much time while I figured out how to proceed. I knew that as soon as contact was re-established, I wouldn't be able to stop the project anymore. It was then that I realized I had to do something. You'd think that they wouldn't need to send someone to take care of this anymore. It should all be automated by now. True, we have a robot that can perform any kind of surgery, so they don't need to send a doctor anymore. Why not have a robot that can take care of other robots? because it'd be the one to create that robot, and if it did, I'd be out of a job. By the way, I think the heater in my room is broken. Would you mind taking a look at that later? I could think of a few ways to turn up the heat. A tempting offer that I unfortunately will have to decline, Mr. Borgia. I hate these early meetings. Anyone else want a cup of coffee? Miss Otomo, perhaps? You know I don't drink coffee. 3 cups then, just as usual. I don't know why they even gave us 4. Here you go. Why even coffee? It's not as if we couldn't just take a pill to get the same effect. Ah, but then you wouldn't get this lovely taste, Miss Thompson. Can we just get this over with? Of course, of course. Who wants to present the results first? No one? Alright, I suppose it will be me again. You know what? You should all be glad that everything is recorded and transcribed automatically now. In my days, we actually had to write these reports ourselves. Hail to our machine overlords. Can we just get this over with? Of course, Mr. Bodger. We... Suddenly, Hans started coughing. When his fit didn't stop after a few seconds, all of us stood up and Francis went over to him. Hans kneeled over, his eyes opening widely into an unfocused stare. He stopped moving before a bit of foam started appearing in his mouth. He needs his injector! There should be one in the drawer over there. Quickly, I went to the drawer, grabbed something, and ran up to Sybil. That's not it, you stupid... Before she could finish her sentence, I drove the scalpel under her neck. She collapsed immediately as blood gushed out of the wound, staining the floor red. She screamed, and Francis turned around to see me still holding the scalpel, while the bleeding Sybil lay on the ground next to me. I attempted to stab him, but he grabbed my arm and wrestled the scalpel from me, which fell to the floor with an audible clang. He then wrapped his hands around my neck and started to choke me. I fell over backwards and he followed, his hands never leaving my neck in the process. He was now kneeling above me, and I found myself becoming weaker by the second. I made peace with the idea that I was going to die. I didn't know what would happen afterwards, to the dragons, to Earth, to everyone, but at least I could say that I tried. When I came to, it was from feeling something dripping into my face before Francis was dragged away from me. Slowly my vision returned. I looked up to see one of the dragons approach me before it started to lick my face with its blood-stained muzzle. Is that Remy? Kinda looks a little bit like him. Wow. The other design species were made, and after making some adjustments to the learning program, it taught them what I wanted them to know. I founded the first village, and they grew up quickly, knowing only me as their leader. By the time I left, they didn't even need me anymore. They had become completely self-sufficient. So in the end, you gave them even more than life. You gave them freedom. She sat on the ground, panting heavily. There should be a shovel over there. Take it and dig. I did as she asked and began digging a hole in the area she indicated. I wondered what would await me when the shovel hit something hard, and I dug around it, unearthing a vaguely round shape. More shapes followed, and as I continued, I eventually realized that I was looking at a body. I lifted it out of its shallow grave before turning it over. It was me. Why? How? You have to understand, there was no other way. Each time you traveled back in time, I had to kill you. Having multiple instances of you would have been troublesome. We only needed one of you. One to go through the same scenario over and over again so that we could learn what to do differently. So this is your graveyard then, full of other instances of me? Not just you, there are also others, and myself. Others? Yes, in some timelines they sent someone else instead of you. She was not a nice person. Why did they send someone else? They told me I was the best candidate as I was going to offer my own PDA for the trade. Because in those timelines, you died before you ever had a chance to arrive here, murdered for that very PDA you gave to the dragons. How many are there? How many did you bury? How many times have we done this now? I lost track a long time ago. How I wish I could forget it all. You only did what you had to. Hey, Prince, do you remember anything about the first time you came here? Let me think. You mean when I confronted Raza alone with that explosive I made from a generator? Then you don't. You only remember the newer timelines. I think it's better this way. I've killed you so many times, and sometimes you did the same to me. Or rather, a different me. You don't know what it was like when I still had to try and figure everything out. You only remember timelines I have sufficiently tampered with. What are you trying to tell me? The first few times, I was just watching you. I could see your intentions were pure, and that you were filled with determination, but without my help, you always failed. Everything that happened, from all the murders to the conclusion in the lab, it was all necessary to arrive here. I also needed to show you what kind of person Raza was. You wouldn't have believed me otherwise. Could I have stopped him earlier and saved those he killed? I don't know. If I died before I could reveal myself to you, circumstances could have been unfixable. How many times do you think we tried before we had even the remote possibilities to succeed? I know what you did. I've done it too, remember? If you didn't step up to the position back then, we probably still would have to figure out a few things. Sometimes I didn't quite know myself why I had to do the things you told me to do. If we didn't lure Maverick to the portal during my first day, the confrontation that sets off this whole chain of events wouldn't have even happened. Your meeting with Raza had to be interrupted, otherwise he would have told you about his plan that night, and from the ensuing talk there would have only been two options. Either you would have joined him to save humanity while leaving this world to die, or you would have opposed him, in which case he did not hesitate to shoot you then and there. We had to do a lot of things to make this happen, didn't we? All those other timelines just to succeed in this one. The others might have failed, but we still learned something from every little mistake we made. That's how we could arrive here. What will you do now? With the generators gone, we won't be able to stop the comet. Maybe we don't need to. What are you talking about? Back home, there are plenty of empty buildings. If the dragons took their generators and technology with them, we could revive all the infrastructure, the hospitals, schools, everything. If they could make humanity an offer they won't be able to refuse. You want to relocate them? Do you even have any ideas how many dragons live here? Sure, they may have never settled on another continent, but we are still talking about millions here. Even if they won't accept them, they will have safe passage to set up a new city. I don't think it will come to that, though. We have plenty of dead infrastructure and room to fill. It could be the very first city of its kind, with dragons and humans living together. Besides, if we can't stop the comet, this is about as good as it's going to get. I know you won't settle for anything less. If this is the only way, then I won't object to this outcome. The thought of humans and dragons living together is one that I think bears a lot of potential. Maybe from the ashes of both civilizations, something new and greater can be created. You don't realize the weight that's been on my shoulders from all the things I had to do to make this work. Now that we are here, I don't think I could continue this existence with these memories in my mind. Now that we have saved them, I can finally rest. Maybe I have to apologize. You were right to want to save humanity too. When both me and Raza only cared for one civilization, you never settled for one. You wanted to save everyone. I guess I was so blinded by wanting to preserve my creation that I refused to see anything else. I'm glad you saw this through to the end. You never stopped believing. If it wasn't for you, I could have never done this. And now it's on you to make it work. A city of dragons and humans. I'll try to do my best. I believe you will. Then I can die happily, knowing that they will be safe and can look to a brighter future. No, you can't just die now. How am I supposed to do this without you? Don't be sad for me. I wouldn't have it any other way. Besides, I'm sure you'll do a fine job. How can you be sure I will? Because if you don't, I will hold you responsible for what happens to them, through time and space if necessary. How can you make jokes like a time like this? You have only seen what I had to do, not what I wanted to. If we met in a different time, a different place, things could have been very different. I have killed you so many times and put you through so much anguish to make this happen. I only long for your forgiveness and understanding, that you can look at what we have achieved now and tell me that it was worth it. It was. Thank you. She closed her eyes as a single tear ran down her face. I moved to wipe it from her, and could already feel the warmth draining from Azuma's body. She was dead. After being told of the comet and realizing that any of their attempts to stop or redirect it would fail without the lab's generator, the Dragon's Council agreed with my course of action, as did humanity. While the repopulation of our city turned out very differently than humanity had initially hoped, all concerns were naught against the possibility of the vast amounts of technology and generators the dragons would bring to revive it. Soon, the initiative to relocate the dragons through the portal was in full force, and I, still acting as an ambassador, helped as much as I could to make it go as smoothly as possible. After a few weeks, we had done it, and as the last of the dragons from even the furthest regions had arrived at the other side, the time for me had come to walk through the portal for the very last time. I looked back to their village and saw all the abandoned buildings, doomed to be destroyed when the comet would hit soon. As I walked up to the platform and waited for the portal to do its starting routine, I thought about what would happen now, and what would come of this collaboration between humans and dragons. I was sure there was a lot of work to be done, especially if I considered the state of the rest of the world, but maybe our city would be a bastion of Earth. Not as the last one remaining, but rather as the first of its kind, and from it, maybe we'd be able to grow and spread our influence. Maybe, together, we can rebuild. And that is it. That is the true conclusion, the finale of Angels with Scaly Wings. We've finally done it, ladies and gentlemen. And it feels good. It feels good to know that I was determined to see the game through to the very end, to get all the true ending of the games. And I gotta say, it was a really interesting experience. A really well done, well written, and unique experience, and I'm glad I checked the game out. And there's a sequel in the making, slated for release this year. Yes, Angels with Scaly Wings 2 is going to potentially be a thing. Supposedly it's going to be coming out this year. So, a lot of interesting characters, and I'm curious to see for the sequel, if it ever comes to fruition, if it truly does come out. Curious to see how many characters we'll meet up with. Is it going to be the same group of characters again? Or is it going to be an entirely different group of characters? Are there going to be any collaboration with the old and the new? Is it just going to be kind of a mix of new and old? Not really sure, but there's a lot of potential there. And although that's not, I would say that this probably wasn't the outcome I was expecting to see. It is a very beautiful ending and a very realistic ending for the game. And I'm glad it wasn't just like all 100% sunshine and rainbows, because as Raza said, you know, we don't live in this fairy tale world where there's a perfect solution to everything, right? I mean, we saved as many as we could, but Azuma still died. The administrator still ended up dying. She made a lot of sacrifices to make this happen, and I think that's very admirable, what she did. But now, it's time to say goodbye. We have done it. We have accomplished our mission as the ambassador. Raza is going to be awaiting judgment. And, probably just throw him in prison, I guess. But all the characters, like, we saved everybody. Even Sebastian got saved. And I didn't think we'd be able to save Sebastian.
But Sebastian got saved. He did not end up getting killed. Because we subconsciously remembered it by the end of it what ends up happening. So because of that, we were able to save everybody except Azuma. But this is the best outcome they could have possibly hoped for. At least now, both sides, both humans and dragons, ended up surviving. Which is what that was our end goal at the end of the day. That's what we needed to happen, and we got it. What a game, man. What an experience that was. And I'm really glad that I can say that I finished it. Why is it showing me this? Thank you for playing. Well, thank you for making the game. It was very interesting. You've seen the true ending. Hope. Achievement unlocked. See the true ending. Oh, does that mean that's it? That's all there is to see? Well, who knows? Either way, it might be a good idea to keep your save file. You know, just to be sure. Maybe it'll come in handy in the future. There you go. So, I wonder why it said to save the game, to have that save file. What happens if you start again? You wish to return once more, Prince? Very well. Dialogue there changed. So what happens if you return to the game? Enlightenment, Chapter 1. I just want to save the game, actually. So it's just going to start us off back at the, yeah, just like usual. Okay, so let's go ahead and save. There you go. Game is complete. Alright, and with that being said, that is the end of my playthrough of Angels with Scaly Wings. Once again, just really well-written game. I really enjoyed playing through it. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. For those that have tuned in from the start, you guys are troopers. Thank you for hanging in there with me. And I'm glad that I can say that I've finished this game and got the true ending for it. I'm really happy about that. Took some determination, but we did it, and I'm really happy about that. So, next time I'll probably be continuing my playthrough of Call of Duty 3 on Veteran difficulty. And, of course, if this game does, you know, get a sequel, I am definitely going to check that out as well. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. I'll catch you guys later.